continuing the tradition.
Here he goes. See you later. He's got it on the ricochet. Touchdown! Touchdown!
ABC Sports, Championship Television.
It's getting serious time for the big fellas in college football. One of the big guys has pitched camp here in the Willamette Valley of Oregon. The Michigan Wolverines coming to a place they have never been to play a team that has feasted on such moments of opportunity for the last decade, the Oregon Ducks. Some highly ranked teams are beginning their conference play today. That's different. Only Michigan has taken a top 10 ranking on the road all the way to Oregon, and that's dangerous.
So who is the best team in the country? Less than a month into the season, a handful of teams are making a case that they are number one. Exhibit A features the Oklahoma Sooners, whose explosive offense has matched their world-class defense. Today, the UCLA Bruins try to punch a hole in their argument. For Exhibit B, we present the body of evidence that the Michigan Wolverines have displayed, featuring the nation's leading rusher, Chris Perry. However, the Oregon Ducks are ready to take the stand against the Maize and Blue. Exhibit C, the Florida State Seminoles, a team that never needs an alibi because their defense allows a mere 5 points per game. The verdict is still out on today's opponent, the Colorado Buffaloes. So who is the real number one? We'll let you, the members of the jury, decide next on ABC Sports. College football Saturday here on ABC, and welcome to Times Square Stadium here in New York City. John Saunders and Terry Bowden as usual, but we are joined for the rest of the season and beyond by Craig James from ESPN for a player to be named later. We're going to put you on the spot right away. Who do you like for the national championship?
And I'm glad you're going to let me stay the whole year. Let's do that. Now, my pick here, y'all are going to pop at me, I'm sure, but Oklahoma, we all like them, and I like USC to play in it. Today, the Pac-10 needs to prevail over the Big Ten. These are big games because of strength of schedule down the road, but I like USC.
I got one question. How can USC be the national champion when they can't be the Pac-10 champion? The last 5 years, the Pac-10 has had a senior quarterback for the last 5 years.
I'm just going to worry about today.
Okay.
I'm going to pick one from each of you. I like USC to face Michigan in the national championship, the Nokia Sugar Bowl. We, of course, will be here at halftime all day long with scores and highlights, but be sure and get back to us at halftime, something you will not want to miss. Out to your games after this.
Flock whose habitat includes one of the loudest college football stadiums anywhere. The Ducks, like the Michigan Wolverines, 3-0, feeling they're a pretty good football team with an opportunity at hand. Michigan comes in ranked 5th in the coaches poll. Oregon 22nd. They've not met since 1973. The Wolverines are wary, yes. They have lost in their last 2 trips to the West, but it's a powerful football team with the troubling clouds of hype following them. This is a festival in the city of Eugene. Colorful, the sun is out. It's a glorious afternoon. Dan Fouts is with me, an alumnus of Oregon, an NFL Hall of Famer. Todd Harris is on the field. My name is Jackson, and I'm just passing through. But Dan, let's talk about this Michigan football team, and first off about this powerful offense they've been showing.
Well, they've left their tire tracks on a lot of opponents thanks to running back Chris Perry, who's not just off any old assembly line. He leads the nation in rushing, he leads the nation in scoring, and he's got a powerful slashing style. And he's placed himself all the way in that fancy showroom called the Heisman Trophy candidate.
This is not a lopsided football team Lloyd Carr brings. The defense is powerful too, and they will just tattoo you all day long if you let them have penetration.
Well, they can get after the passer with Larry Stewart, 8 sacks so far, and a run blitzing team with great linebackers with great speed. Jim Herman, defensive coordinator's message to his football team today: make the Ducks earn every inch.
Well, I know that you're not terribly fond of a 2-quarterback system, but that's what Mike Bellotti has at the moment at Oregon.
Well, he's made it work. Kellen Clemens will get the start, and then he'll be relieved by Jason Fife some point in the first quarter. They put up good numbers, and when you combine the two, it's good enough to lead the nation in passing efficiency thanks to 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. But he's made it work against the likes of Mississippi State, Nevada, and Arizona. This, as we know, is Michigan.
They'll be playing on the field turf, so the footing is going to be good too, and it has not rained in any consequence. Now let's join Todd Harris with the Michigan head man, Lloyd Carr.
Well, Coach Carr, first visit to Eugene, your impressions thus far?
Well, it's a great college town, a great atmosphere, great fans, perfect day, Pac-10 versus a Big Ten, 2 undefeated teams. I think that's pretty good.
When you're at Michigan and you start out 3-0, the talk is national championship right off the bat. Has it been hard keeping the kids focused on just this game?
Well, I think smart teams don't get complacent, and I think we have smart guys on our football team.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Keith, back to you.
All right, Todd, thanks very much. Mike Bellotti, like Lloyd Carr, in his 9th season. Mike is the dean of the Pac-10 coaches. And like Lloyd Carr, Bellotti moved up from a coordinator's position. The Oregon Athletic Director, Bill Moose, has called this game a premier moment for Oregon football, for the whole state of Oregon, as a matter of fact. Just getting Michigan to come out here and play means something. Head coach Bellotti, however, speaks to perspective, and this is what he said to his team.
To remember that we're playing the 2003 Wolverines. We're not playing 100 and so years of storied football program. We're not playing uniforms. We're playing people. That it's what's in our hearts and in our minds. Our mindset is the most important thing. And the other people out there, the 60,000 plus are going to be there, going to have a great time.
And we're ready to kick it off. Referee Gordon Reese ready to blow the whistle, and Adam Finley will kick off for Michigan. Oregon won the toss. They want the ball. They've got it. Taking it at the 8-yard line, it's Ryan Shaw. He is a tailback, and he's out to the 30. And there the Oregon Ducks will possess the ball. First down. The quarterback for the Oregon Ducks, as we said, they used 2. Sophomore Kellen Clemens goes out first. He's had a very good start on this season as a youngster. Neither quarterback has thrown an interception yet. The Outback Steakhouse starting lineup features some of the great speedsters that you'll see as they come out, and we're locating as to which ones they're sending out for the first snap of the ball game. Sammy Parker is out, sore ankle and all. Demetrius Williams is a youngster who has suddenly emerged. They've got speed to burn. They go quickly to the outside, and Michigan plays it well as Marcus Curry is not fooled, and he takes him down right at the line of scrimmage. Now the Outback Steakhouse starting lineup. Wide receiver Sammy Parker came out of the Arizona game with his ankle sprain. Worked through the week all right. Demetrius Williams, we told you, has emerged. There are 4 people who work at tailback. The offensive line, tackle to tackle, is big. Dan Weaver, a mere slip of a lad at 293, the anchor. And it'll be interesting to see how well they can perform against this Michigan defense. They throw the ball the other way, get it into a one-on-one thing with Sammy Parker, and that doesn't get anything either. It's going to be 3rd down and 10 as the other cornerback, LeSueur, makes the tackle. Michigan's defensive front, all seniors, very quick, seasoned, and if they do get pressure, look out. Linebackers, Carl Diggs, 43, the leader. He's a senior, a team captain. And the DBs, they're big and active. LeSueur and Curry have looked very good at corner, and Jackson had 6 tackles against Notre Dame.
And we've already seen the strength of this defense, tackling 100% improved, according to defensive coordinator Jim Herman.
On 3rd and 10. Clemens back, throws to the sidelines. Bullet pass, good to Sammy Parker. Good for a first down at the 41-yard line. And that was a rocket. One of the most colorful settings when the sun is out in the Willamette Valley, with all the colors of Oregon covering the grandstands and the bleachers and wherever they can find a place to stand, because they do have standing room only here. I expect we will have a crowd very close to 60,000 people, which will be the largest football crowd ever in the state of Oregon.
Be the largest gathering, period, in the state of Oregon.
Back goes Clemens looking. Gets a little heat. He's got a lot of green grass in front of him, and he goes up to the 48-yard line. Hoyer and Jackson make the tackle. We go across the country for this update from John Saunders.
And Keith, we've talked about the Mid-American Conference many times, just how good these schools are. Bowling Green against Ohio State, down only by a touchdown late, but Josh Harris is picked off by Will Allen. Ohio State runs out the clock and survives a big scare, 24-17. Kansas State, meanwhile, to Mid-American Marshall, is down 27-20 with just over a minute to go. Keith.
Wow, that'll be a ringing upset, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Bill Snyder wouldn't like that, will he?
2nd down and 4. The ball is marked, the tail of it right on the 47 hash.
Ducks have a man in motion. They go to the run for the first time today, and the surge of the line will carry him up close to midfield. Then they roll him backwards, but the mark is going to be right near the 50. That's Chris Vincent. He is a 218-pound freshman from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, carrying it.
And what Vincent gives the Ducks is a raw, powerful running back, and he's just starting to get into game shape. And they're starting to see signs that perhaps he may have the breakaway speed that will make him the starter. The Ducks will use 4 running backs today. They'll use Vincent, Whitehead, Washington, and Shaw. Vincent is the guy they want to come and make the step up.
Now on 3rd down and 1, the Wolverines go to a goal line defense. They line up 6 people along the line of scrimmage. The Ducks pitch it outside, and they get the first down. A good effort by Chris Vincent. The contact was made short of the first down, but the big guy from Philly took it over the marker and moved the chains.
And this is an option play by Oregon, kind of a misdirection option play, if you will. Kashama is right here. He's going to get sucked down into the interior of this line, and the pitch goes to the outside. Well executed by the Ducks, but again, sure tackling by the defensive backs of Michigan have kept the Ducks from getting any big plays yet.
That was Lawrence Weed who wrapped his legs on that play, but it's first down at the Michigan 47-yard line for Oregon. And they got a man in motion. They go back to the run, and there's a loss back to the 48-yard line. Almost a 5-yard loss as Larry Harrison got the penetration, a sophomore out of Detroit for the Wolverines.
Well, and that's not easy to get a 5-yard, near 5-yard loss on a running play. Harrison was late getting to his position, and that may have confused the Oregon offensive line. He had great penetration. 3-yard loss.
As the sun comes out bright and clear, it's 62 degrees in Eugene, Oregon. So it's football weather. Second down, they say 14. Pressure coming. Open it up the middle for the quarterback. Clemens takes off and goes down to the 40-yard line, where he is hit hard by Marlon Jackson. It'll be marked right on the 40. They'll need close to 3 yards to get the first down.
Oregon caught Michigan in a blitz that time, and they didn't get there. From the outside will come Shazer, another defensive back from this side, and that leaves the middle wide open. Good protection by the Ducks, and heads up by Clemens, realizing that the blitz was on. Don't want to hang around that pocket too long.
3rd down and 3. Terrence Whitehead is in the backfield now. He may be a little quicker. He's got it. Bouncing to the outside. Turns it on and goes to the 35. Down to the 34. First down, Oregon. LeSueur and Woods the tackle for Michigan.
He blocked that time by fullback Luke Rowley, who's filling in for Matt Floberg. Rowley is number 33, and he's going to lead Whitehead. Here he is right in front of Whitehead. He's going to lead him to the outside here. And this is some of that quickness that you talked about, Keith. Good move by Whitehead to suck the defense to the inside, jumps outside, picks up the first down.
So put it on the 34. Oregon now has moved the ball from their own 30 in the opening possession of the ball game. Clemens back, looks to throw. Dancing, goes big. Into the end zone. He's got a man wide open and overthrew Sammy Parker. He actually had 2 people open. But Parker was the man all alone, and Clemens missed him.
Yeah, he certainly had time to throw. There's no question about that. This offensive line does a super job. It's one of these slide protections. But right now, he takes a while to get this one underway, and he's too late. And when you're too late, you can't throw the ball as high and let the receiver adjust to it. So he just airmailed Parker. That would have been a touchdown. Remember that one. That one got away.
Single back. Now they put the fullback in for blocking. Give the ball to Terrence Whitehead, and Whitehead pops it. Close to a first down. He picked up 9 yards on the carry.
And Keith, already Oregon has accomplished something Notre Dame could not do last week against Michigan. The best penetration last week for Notre Dame's offense was Michigan's 37-yard line. That run takes the Ducks all the way to the Michigan 25.
I think it's very important, frankly, Dan, that Oregon get the lead.
Well, there's no question they've been a very fast-starting team this year and in their recent history. They've had trouble hanging on to leads, though.
The brain trust of the defense, Jim Herman, the coordinator, upstairs. And they stay with the run here, trying to wedge out the first down, and they won't get it because Michigan got there first. Next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern and 12:30 Pacific. These are regional games for you on ABC Sports. Pittsburgh, Texas A&M, and the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT. Notre Dame, Purdue, and there'll be other regional action. Check your local listing or get ESPN Game Plan and watch the game of your choice. The Oregon players waving their arms, saying, "Come on, crowd, let's help."
Actually, they're saying, "Be quiet. We want to hear the play." They're going to go for it on 4th down.
But it's more than a yard, too. And this crowd doesn't bother Oregon, though. They're used to it. Clemens throwing. He's got his man open. It's inside the 5 down to the 5-yard line. Tim Day, the big tight end, slipped outside. Nobody paid any attention to him, and he almost scored.
Great play action fake for Oregon. Here is Day. He's going to sneak out of off the line of scrimmage here. And Clemens does a nice job with a fake and then delivering a catchable ball. He knew he just missed a touchdown on his last pass. He made sure on that one.
So Clemens comes up with the key completion, and it's 1st down and goal Oregon at the Michigan 4-yard line. Day stepped in. He played some last year, but he succeeded George Wrighster, who has gone to the pros. Ball is handed off to Whitehead, and Whitehead is decked at just about. They're going to give him a little loss, I think, on the play as Larry Stevens, the senior defensive end, makes the hit on him. Stevens was heavily recruited by Oregon when he was in high school up in Tacoma, Washington, but he chose Michigan.
And you know, Stevens and his mates are not used to having a team drive the field, at least not this year. This is the 15th play of this drive coming up, and already the Ducks have eaten up just about half of this first quarter.
So it is 2nd down and goal. The ball is marked back on the 6-yard line. Let's see if they stay with the run. Now they get a man in motion coming back as the blocking back, and Clemens rolls, throws. The ball completed to Day, and Day fighting to the goal line, and he's just short. Marcus Curry was the man who helped keep him out of the end zone, and Curry at 182 pounds has taken on a 268-pounder, but Curry got a little help at the last moment and kept him out of there.
Another great job by Tim Day to make the catch and then know he needs to get to the end zone. Takes a shot there, takes another one, takes 3, takes 4 shots, and sets the Ducks up inside the 1.
They need about 1.5 feet. Whitehead is your deep back. Let's see if they run it. Option. Clemens rolls over. They're asking touchdown on 3rd down, and they didn't get it.
I think they did get it, though. Before he hit the ground, he reached the ball out. It looked like he broke the plane with the ball. That is clearly a touchdown, and the Ducks get robbed at home.
Uh-oh, that's a Lum speaking.
Watch this call, though. He's not down. The ball's across the plane. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, you're right. It is. They're going to go for it. They only need about 6 inches.
Yeah, quarterback sneak is an excellent call here. An Oregon man moved. Tim Day, of all people.
My goodness.
Offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Until 4th down.
Now, does this change the tune? Does Siegel come in for a field goal try?
Yep, Siegel is in, Keith, and it's important, obviously, to get points on the board and not worry about the fact the referees, the officials, denied you a touchdown.
Jarrett Siegel has had a very successful career, 30 out of 40. He's a junior out of Sacramento. Jason Fife, the quarterback, is the holder. Kick block. Wolverines have a chance to pick it up, and it's a foot race toward the other goal line. What a turnaround in the ball game. It's Jeremy Lesur. Jeremy Lesur will score for the Michigan Wolverines. The block was by Marlon Jackson. So So the Oregon Ducks are knocking on the door. The tight end moves. They lose a chance to stick it in the end zone after driving it down the field. Michigan blocks the field goal try, and LeSueur goes the other way for the touchdown. Wow.
Great job by Marlon Jackson jumping through a gap between the tight end and the wingman, and then just smothering this ball off the foot of Jared Siegel.
Adam Finley does the place kicking, and today will also punt for the Wolverines.
Adam Finley will get the point after.
Matt Gutierrez is the holder. He's the Californian. No, it's Navarre doing the holding. 16 is holding, and it is no good. Well, that is a very unusual beginning. Not only does Oregon have its pocket picked, and the question is whether its heart was broken, and now the Wolverines come down and miss an extra point to lead 6-0. An incredible turnaround of fate in this first quarter. Troy Nineberg will kick it off for Michigan. He only weighs 166 pounds, but obviously he gets pretty good velocity. And here comes the return by Justin Fennessy, who is a cornerback. And Fennessy will get it out to about the 18-yard line. It is Michigan 6 and Oregon nothing, and the crowd is stunned.
And Michigan leads at 6-0 here in the first quarter. Our Nissan Drive summary will show you just what a shocking turn of events that was for Oregon. 17-play drive, 9 minutes and 18 seconds of offense, and nothing to show for it. Now the question is, can they psychologically bounce back?
That is a very good question. Chris Vincent steps in at tailback. He started there. And the quarterback remains the starter, Kellen Clemens. And Tim Day is the big tight end. He just moved over to the right side. And Clemens back throwing, getting some heat, gets it off, throws it into the ground, a safe throwaway. And Vincent was in the territory, but the pass goes incomplete.
Yeah, the Wolverines did a great job of smelling out that screen pass that Clemens wanted to throw. The defensive line just filtered down the line of scrimmage, and heads up by Clemens realizing it and just throwing that ball away. But this is a complete Michigan football team, Keith. Offense, defense, and special teams. And what a great special teams play that was by Marlon Jackson and Jeremy LeSueur.
They go to Vincent, and the Wolverines will give him a yard, and that's all, and it's a grudging one at that. Pierre Woods, junior out of Cleveland, number 99, making the hit on number 22, Chris Vincent.
And you see the Wolverines are shuttling in and out their defensive line, keeping them fresh early in this game. Again, that was a 9-minute drive that Oregon had. That might have worn out some of the bigger guys.
One of the great strengths of the Michigan team is, from where I sit, is the number of people that are quality they've got to play. They can rotate people and lose nothing. Clemens gets some heat, now breaks free, throws down on his knees, making the catch for a first down at the 34-yard line is Kellen Taylor. Kellen Taylor gives them a first down at the 33-yard line. Another update now from John Saunders.
Keith, the Taco Bell update, and Marshall has done it. At Kansas State, Manhattan not happy this time of year. Jeff Schwinn looking back to pass its tip, final play of the game, and the Thundering Herd pull off the upset 27-20. Your final there, Keith.
The pileup goes into the sidelines. You've got players, you've got the chain gang, and everybody involved there for a moment. And it looks like everybody's going to get up and walk away all right.
And everything but a penalty flag that obviously these Duck fans were looking for. But as they check out the replay board, they give it to the officials one more time. I think what Mike Bellotti is being told that Oregon had a wide receiver in that mix who was blocking on a defensive back, and that might have added to the collision on the sideline.
2nd down and 10. Clemens quickly. Pass completed to Parker, and Sammy Parker will get across the 45. Move the chains again. So those quick, sharp shots being delivered by Kellen Clemens continues to pile up movement for them, but still it's Michigan 6-0 on the scoreboard at 4 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Well, of Clemens' 9 passes, only 2 have been incomplete. We saw the one where he threw away on the screen pass, and remember, he missed a touchdown pass to Sammy Parker earlier on that first drive. So he's a hot quarterback right now, and I like the way he's moving around in the pocket, buying extra time.
Michigan corners come right up on Parker. Parker coming down the left side. Now the pass is thrown, and it is a penalty flag flying onto the field from that side of the field. LeSueur was covering Demetrius Williams. That may be where the infraction occurred. The field judge threw the flag.
And that's a good idea to cover Demetrius Williams. He had 3 touchdown receptions last week against Arizona, as Sammy Parker was injured early in that game. This is Demetrius Williams, number 6 from De La Salle High School in Concord. Penalty not on Jeremy LeSueur, on another receiver in the area.
It's called Curry on Parker, I think, was where the it might have been just a pick-up call. Pick one.
Yeah, you better stay close to Sammy Parker. He runs the 100 meters in 10.18. That's world class.
Ball is just inside the 45-yard line. Automatic first down on the call, and there's nothing on the ground for Chris Vincent. Right at the line of scrimmage, maybe even a half a yard loss on the play. I'll tell you one thing, there is no room in the middle.
No, and this man, Chris Perry, is wondering, hey, when do I get to play? I'm a Heisman Trophy candidate. Look what I did last week.
His Richards are still clean, though. You go to the second quarter, he'll be all spiffy.
You know, I hated this when I was a player, Keith, when the other team just took the ball and kept it away from us. You come out of the locker room, you're all warmed up, you're all hyped up, you're ready to roll, you know what plays you want to run, and here you sit in the shade.
I've never seen that, I don't think. With 3 minutes to go in a quarter, the one team has no time of possession, yet they lead the game 6-0. There's nothing there either. They go to Whitehead on it, who had come back in at tailback, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Larry Stevens right there.
Yeah, Larry Stevens is their pass rush specialist, but he's shown a couple of times in this first quarter that he can play the run extremely well.
He's a character.
Yeah, strange to see a defensive end wearing number 13, but he was a linebacker earlier in his career. Great pass rusher with the typical pass rusher personality.
3rd down and 10. Ball up to 45. Look for the pass. Blitz coming. Clemens steps away, throws, and can't deliver it to the receiver. Again, he had Parker beginning to break clean. If he'd have put a lot of air under it and let Sammy track it, that might have been 6. But the pressure was all over him, and he got rid of it.
And no question, Jim Herman wanted to put pressure on Clemens. Can't give him time to find these speedy receivers.
Marcus Curry is back to receive the punt of Paul Martinez. And he takes it about the 13, goes down at the 15. Kellen Taylor on special teams down to make the play on him. It was a 31-yard punt and a 3-yard return. Well, we finally get to do the Michigan offensive starting lineup. John Navarre is the team captain, started as a sophomore. He's absorbed some slings and arrows, but he holds school records now for completions, attempts, and yards. And here's his first snap of the ball game with Chris Perry, the deep back. And Navarre stands up to throw to the sidelines, and it's a little too high for Braylon Edwards. The Outback Steakhouse starting lineup, backs and receivers. Tailback Chris Perry has started the season like a rocket, averaging right at 7 yards on 80 carries in 3 games. He's also caught 10 passes, and the man you saw there reaching for the ball wide out, Braylon Edwards, has 13 catches. But here's the reason that Chris Perry has run so well and so far. 300-pounders, tackle to tackle, and a seasoned backup at every spot. Second down and 10. The ball is on the 15-yard line for the Wolverines. This time it goes to Perry, and he skates around a bit and finds daylight and gets across the 20 to the 21. Harley Tucker on the tackle. The Oregon defensive front lost tackle Nata to a knee injury. The people, though, have played well without him, and today it's Michigan depth that may present the problem, and lack of depth on the part of Oregon. Linebackers always fly around. Senior Kevin Mitchell leads them. The secondary, they were battered last year, but they're a little bit bigger this year. Some people have been moved around, and they're determined. Steve Breston is in the ball game now as a wideout. He's exciting. And Navarre looks around and throws, and he's got a man open, but he missed him. Jason Avant was running free, and Navarre overthrew him.
You know, Keith, that's almost a product of Oregon having the ball so much in that first quarter. It's been about a half hour since John Navarre has thrown a pass under rhythm in pregame warmups. So you can see his first 2 passes a little bit high. Perhaps Edwards should have had the first one. That second one was way too far.
Adam Finley is in the punt. And it is Stephen Moore, a cornerback, to return it for Oregon. Finley gets a lot of air under the ball. He forces a lot of fair catches like that. And Oregon will receive the ball and take over first down at the 41. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. SBC, ordinary people, extraordinary job. And Miller High Life, to live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. So the Ducks get good field position for this possession at their 40-yard line. And they go with Chris Vincent as the deep back. He's got it, bounces around, looking for daylight. There isn't any.
Chris Vincent up the middle for no gain.
He's running in the cellar against this Michigan defensive front so far. Carl Diggs on that tackle.
Been an unusual first quarter for our Pacific Life game summary. Kellen Clemens with an apparent touchdown on goal to go from the 1-yard line. And then 2 plays later, Marlon Jackson with the block. Jeremy Lesueur's 78-yard return. But the extra point by Adam Finley, wide right. 6-0, Michigan.
You just sent a quiver through Bobby Bowden. Wide right. Second down and 10. Clemens with a little time. Gets the pass completed. He's got some room. It's Terrence Whitehead, the tailback. He's on the Michigan side of the field. First down at the 41-yard line. Ernest Shazor, the tackle.
Oregon's one of the best teams in the country at screen passes. They have a wide variety, and Andy Ludwig, offensive coordinator, called the right one this time, because after Whitehead comes over here, there is nobody in the secondary that has him. Good job up front by the line. Stites with a shield block there, and then Whitehead's across midfield. Great field position continues for Pilati's Ducks.
41-yard line, first down for Oregon. Clemens with a lot of time, throws short. Pass good to Williams, and as he wanted to cut back to the inside, he falls down. And we have played a quarter, and Michigan has hardly seen the ball, but they lead 6-0. This is mind-boggling, but it's the truth. Duly recorded legally. Michigan had 3 offensive plays in the first quarter, gained 5 yards. Just unbelievable turnaround in the ball game.
Yeah, they've got the 6, and the Ducks have got the
there you go. Yep, second down now, and 7 for Oregon. They're still looking to run it as Whitehead will pick up a couple of yards down close to the 35-yard line. And again, let's check in with John.
Well, Keith, Jason White has been terrific at quarterback for Oklahoma this year. Only picked off 1 time until right there. The second interception, Spencer Havner takes it and goes 72 yards, gets the ball inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. They get backed up on a penalty, but a few plays later, Manuel White takes it in for a touchdown, and the Bruins lead.
Well, Manny White's going to make a huge difference in that UCLA football team, I think. Passes away, caught inside the 20-yard line. Demetrius Williams in front of Marlon Jackson.
Keith, you just will never know how tough and how great that throw was by Kellen Clemens. Running literally for his life, 3 Wolverines in his face, and he's running away from the line of scrimmage at that angle. And he puts this ball on a line.
I thought that Gordon Reese was reaching for his flag, the referee, as he looked at the Oregon offensive lineman trying to hold off one of the defenders, but he didn't pull it.
Bad job of holding.
And first down at the 19-yard line for Oregon now. That's Day, the tight end, dropping into the backfield. The pass is away, and he dropped it. Ball was thrown behind him. It was Leobrotten. Nate Leobrotten had a double tight end in there, and the ball was a little behind him. Here's Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, the Michigan sideline is in the shade right now, but Lloyd Carr was livid. He was hot, giving the officials all they could handle because it happened right in front of him, that hold they got away with. Meanwhile, John Navarre, who's only been in for 4 plays, is sitting on the sideline, and it's about 10 degrees cooler on this side than the Oregon bench, so it's really chilly. I'm surprised they don't have him up and throwing.
Wait till November.
I think they can handle 10 degrees.
Second down and 10 now for the Ducks. Whitehead up the middle. He's free. Touchdown, Oregon.
The Wolverines in the first half this year, and only the 16th point. But Whitehead on a trap up the middle behind Dan Weaver, the center, takes it in.
And the first time ever that Oregon has scored on Michigan.
I wasn't going to mention that, Keith.
First 3 games they were shut out. The kick gives Oregon the lead. Jared Siegel. So at 13:44 to go in the first half, it is now Oregon 7 and Michigan 6.
Allstate presents Good Hands Flashback. On November 21st, 2002, the upset-minded Pittsburgh Panthers were primed to prove they could go toe-to-toe with the undefeated #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes. This early acrobatic 5-yard touchdown grab by freshman wideout Larry Fitzgerald tied the game at 7 and sent the Panthers' confidence soaring. But it was not enough to knock off the mighty Canes, who won 28-21.
The overhead images of today's game courtesy Aquafina and the Aquafina Purity One lightship. The crew of the Aquafina lightship hopes you're enjoying ABC's coverage of the game. And so do we. Oregon's Jared Siegel will kick off. Jeremy LeSueur is waiting for it, watching it, drifting toward the corner, back into the end zone. He'll put a knee down and come out to the 20.
A couple of things to look at on this touchdown. This is a wide receiver, and he's going to come around this side. That affects Michigan. And then the block in the middle by center Dan Weaver. And Terrence Whitehead will go 19 yards, literally untouched, right through the heart of the Michigan defense.
Dan Weaver, incidentally, was a walk-on. He's a graduating senior and team captain.
From Redmond, Oregon, his brother Jed, former Duck, playing for the 49ers at tight end, was also a walk-on.
My kind of guys.
You got it.
20-yard line for Michigan. Navarre gives to Perry. Michigan, I'm sure, would like to pound away on the Oregon defenders here for a while and wear them down some. Today's singular wireless poll question: which team should be ranked number 1? Oklahoma, Miami, USC, Ohio State, or Michigan? To vote, log on to ESPN.com, search singular or singular users, and text message to 222 ABC. We'll give you the results in the second half. Second down and 7. Boy. Ciavi brings down Chris Perry authoritatively right about the line of scrimmage.
Big Igor Olshansky has moved to defensive end from his defensive tackle spot because of the play of Junior Ciavi. Remember, Haloti Ngata is out for the season, so the Ducks have had guys stepping up. That's an example of a guy stepping up, Junior Ciavi.
Chris Solomona is in there as well now. He's the one exhorting the crowd for more noise. Back goes Navarre to throw. No pressure. Now he gets hit just as he throws, and the pass is completed to Braylon Edwards. And Edwards has got a big play for the Wolverines to put it on the Oregon 49-yard line.
But that was a great job of John Navarre hanging in and hanging into the pocket here and searching for Edwards. Edwards is on a crossing route. He's got to clear the linebacker right there. And now watch this effort by Edwards to keep his balance and almost go all the way. If Finney doesn't show up there, Michigan's in the end zone.
They're going to mark it inside the 48 where he went out of bounds. And it's first down for the Wolverines. This is their first offensive thrust of the ball game. Only the second time they've had it. That's Breaston in motion. They throw quickly outside. Breaston, who is a speedster, he's very much like Anthony Carter. You're going to see a lot of this young fella during the course of the season. He's a sophomore out of North Battle, Pennsylvania.
He's already made his presence felt on the punt return team. He's only 6'1" and 175 pounds or so. They're probably lying about that 175. But he has explosive speed and very little hesitation in this game.
Ball is on the 44. We're at second down and 7. Perry cuts back into the traffic and will get a couple of yards. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
You talked about this offensive line being the strength of this Wolverine ball club. David Boss at left guard and Tony Pape at right tackle. And plus you have Dave Pearson, who's got the ability to pull from the center position. That's why Perry's been so effective.
Double wide, top of the screen, single back Perry, third down 5. Oregon blitzing, got some heat on him. Ball is missed his man, he had him open. Kevin Mitchell looping from the outside, got in his face, and he missed his pass, and it's fourth down.
Yeah, it was a well-designed blitz by Nick Galeotti. He brought the linebacker Mitchell, but he also brought the strong safety Keith Lewis. Here is Mitchell here. These feet belong to Lewis. Watch as Mitchell goes up the field. Lewis will come underneath, and that forced Navarre to miss a wide open tight end.
Finley in for his second punt. Adam had 39 yards on his first one. Ball comes out. Recovered by Oregon on the midfield stripe, right about the 50-yard line.
This snap just goes totally awry.
Scott McClintock is the man snapping, it looked like.
Well, it hit Scott McClintock in the head, Keith. He is the personal protector, and the snap by Ross Mann. Here, watch this ball. It's going to hit him right in the helmet. I've seen it all now.
Where they're trying to snap it to him and run for it. Maybe it was their first trick play of the day.
Well, it certainly appeared that Finley was trying to attract the attention of Oregon by jumping in the air, giving them the look that the ball is snapped over his head. But Mann just snapped that ball way too hard off the helmet of Scott McClintock.
Jason Fife comes into the ball game now for his first appearance of the day at quarterback, and Oregon has called a timeout. At least they're being charged with it. Maybe they didn't have the right combination of people. We've had some freaky things happen, so don't go away.
Let's go back to the fake punt that went awry. This is Thompson right here, number 35. Watch, he was going to go out here and block. They had a nice hole for the fullback, McClintock, the personal protector, to run through. But Ross Mann just snapped that ball way too hard off the side of the very famous Wolverine helmet.
It happened so quick, it was hard from the side view to tell whether it was a mistake or whether it was intended, because just wham, hit him right between the eyes.
Special teams, one great play for the Wolverines and one disastrous one, perhaps.
Well, you can call all the play. It was a perfect play call.
Yep.
It would have worked. But you got to execute it, and sometimes the two don't always go together.
And now Jason Fife is the quarterback for Oregon, and what he brings is senior leadership. And he will run the hurry up, or the no huddle offense rather. And perhaps they'll do it with this field position. That would be wise to do, especially when you consider that Michigan's defense has been on the field for over 15 minutes in this game already.
Now we're told that Oregon was not charged with that timeout. They run the ball and find some daylight, and Whitehead goes spinning around as he crashes down at about the 46-yard line. Jason Fife's a big guy, 6'4", 222 pounds, and they're going with a no-huddle offense here, trying to catch Michigan in a disorganized circumstance, but it takes so long getting the play called. Michigan's defense is all set. Now they show blitz. And Fife back. They're looking to put some heat on him. He throws perfectly on target to Tim Day. And Tim Day has another Oregon first down, going down the sidelines to the 15-yard line. Lawrence Reed saved the touchdown.
Boy, there's just no hesitation in Jason Fife's game as he got back quickly and let this ball go to his tight end. Tim Day now 3 catches, 57 yards, little corner route. That's the matchup Oregon's looking for. Get their tight ends on their linebackers in Michigan.
All the writers wrote about and all the people talked about were Sammy Parker, but it's Tim Day who's been the big target for the Oregon quarterback so far. First down at the 15 now for the Ducks. They lead 7-6. Option 5. Going for the corner. Touchdown. Fife can run it. The sea of yellow at Autzen Stadium erupts with joy as Fife enters into the corner.
And this is what he brings to the team. He changes the tempo. He's got senior experience in this offense, and he was originally one of the better option quarterbacks that Oregon recruited.
Siegel for the point. Fife holds it. Good. 3 plays, 49 yards, 42 seconds after the botched fake punt. 10:01 to go. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television. Oregon 14, Michigan 6. Stunning numbers to ponder. And so is the scoreboard. 14-6 Oregon with 10 minutes to go in the first half.
And it could be 21-zip.
Yep. Siegel will kick it off. Jeremy Lesueur is waiting back along the goal line. Pierre Rimbert is back there with him. It's hooked out of bounds. Bad kick. Michigan gets the ball out of the 35-yard line, so that's a big mistake by Siegel, trying probably to hit it too hard. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Hummer. Check out the H2 at your local dealer. Hummer, like nothing else. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. And Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? Oregon's a bad kick. Siegel's bad kick gives Michigan good field position to start this possession. Only their third of the ball game. And the ball rolling around and people moving everywhere, and Navarre covers it.
He better cover it because he dropped it.
And right now, the Wolverines look jittery.
They're just out of sync. I mean, this snap is late by his center, Dave Pearson. That's why Navarre had trouble getting it. Everybody else was moving, but the ball.
And there's a loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down, 11. Waylon Edwards is the receiver to the bottom of your picture. Navarre goes the other way, trying to set a screen for Chris Perry, and it's a very good defensive play by linebacker Kevin Mitchell, who plays on that side. He's the senior linebacker and the leader of that group.
Yeah, he's the leading tackler for Oregon. They call him the mini backer because he's only 5'11", probably more like 5'9". But he's a great open field tackler, as he showed that time. If he doesn't make that tackle, Perry has a lot of room down the sidelines.
And the ball is back now at the 29-yard line, where it is 3rd down and 16. And the crowd is all over John Navarre, trying to block out the sound. Big John back to throw. Pressure coming. Sacked back at the 21. Devin Long, younger brother of Ryan Long, who won the Outland Trophy a year ago at Washington State.
And Devin Long picks up his 4th sack of the year. Defensive end with the motor of his older brother Ryan, number 92, working against Tony Pape with a great move to the inside, splits the blocker. Matt Lentz couldn't get over there, and that's his reward, a quarterback sack for Devin Long.
You beat Pape, you beat a good one.
Yes, sir.
Here's the punt out of there by Finley. Good one. And he comes back to the 39-yard line, coming straight up the middle. It's Stephen Moore. Moore is on his way. It's no flags. Touchdown, Oregon.
The Ducks have always been very good at returning punts. They've had people like Keenan Howard to do it, but the trademark return has always been the middle return, as they executed perfectly that time.
61 yards after a 39-yard punt. Siegel to the point. Fife holds it, and he kicks it straight through. And at 7:50 to go in the first half, it's Oregon 21, Michigan 6.
Special teams coach Robin Ross said that Stephen Moore is our returner. He is no Keenan Howard, but he catches the ball well, and that's most important, and he's fearless. To run right up the middle against a punt coverage team, you have to be fearless. And the lower body strength, those strong, thick thighs, pulled him out of that tackle, and then he's got nobody in front of him to the end zone. I guess the question of whether Oregon can bounce back psychologically from the Kellen Clemens non-touchdown on that first drive has been answered.
Yes, it has. But at the time, it was a legitimate question because it was a moment of serious denial.
Special teams play. We've seen 3 already, 4 actually in this game that have contributed to this wacky first half. Blocked field goal, a missed extra point, a botched fake punt, and then the great punt return by Stephen Moore.
Arad Lesueur will be back there to receive the kickoff from the Oregon Ducks as they're flying pretty high on their sideline right now. And Siegel has hit another bad kick. That's 2 in a row. He's jerked out of bounds, and he comes out to the 35-yard line.
And Keith, Jared Siegel's doing a good job at taking this great crowd out of the game with those kickoffs. But you can see the difference here. This is the big house, Michigan Stadium, and then you come to the Nut House, Autzen Stadium. Half the size, but every bit the energy and excitement and noise. This crowd is very, very close to the field.
But Oregon was at the end of the journey west, so fertilize it, it'll grow. down from the 35 now. John Navarro stands up very quickly, throws to Edwards, and Edwards got a little room. Now 3 Ducks hit him at the 40-yard line. That's a quick pickup of 5, maybe 6 yards.
Well, Michigan knows that Oregon recently has had real trouble guarding fleet, tall, wide receivers such as Braylon Edwards. Edwards is a sub-11 second guy in the 100 meters, and he should be a big target for Navarre as this game goes on.
Michigan needs something to solve their dyspepsia right now. Ball is handed to Perry. Perry tries to power his way over the right side on 2nd down and a long 4, and he's hit by Jerry Maxson, taken down after a yard.
Big 3rd down play coming up for Michigan. And doesn't this crowd know it?
We get a double tight end now. Tim Massaquoi in there at 1. Andy Mignery is at the other.
1 for 4 for Michigan, so they're going to call timeout and make sure on this 3rd down conversion try.
3rd down, the long 3 coming up for the Wolverines with Oregon leading 21-6. Now time for the Aflac trivia question, and this week, which coaches share the record for the most Rose Bowl game victories?
Aflac! That wasn't me, folks.
I want that Duck. We got to get him to the Rose Bowl this year. Navarre all day to throw, and throws high and out of bounds.
That Oregon secondary doing a great job of taking away Navarre's primary receiver, forcing him to wait and wait and wait. Then the pressure comes, and he's got nothing down the field. All 3 of the wide receivers on one side of the field. The Ducks are in a combination coverage, and you can see that's as good as Oregon can possibly do, and have done it a long time, covering 3 fast wide receivers.
And that brings up another Michigan punt with Adam Findlay, and waiting is Stephen Moore. The last time he went 61 yards for a touchdown. Kick is away, spin on it. Fair catch called at the 26-yard line. With just 2 races to go, 5 drivers still have a chance at winning the IRL IndyCar Series Championship. Dixon, Kanan, DeFerra, and Hornish within striking distance of points leader Helio Castroneves. So don't miss the Toyota Indy 400 tomorrow at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, here on ABC Sports. Astonishing numbers here in the first half.
All of them.
Yep. Jason Fife back in there at quarterback now. He's run for the touchdown, hands this ball away to Chris Vincent, and Michigan jumps all over him for a yard loss. One of the things you notice about that defensive front, when they come and they get you, you usually are short of the line of scrimmage.
The quickness and their size, a combination, it's almost unstoppable.
They get you on your heels and make you pay.
Big Gabe Watson at 337 right here.
Carl Diggs just came off the field. Here's Fife looking to throw it, and throws it low. And he had his man too. The receiver had broken off the pattern. Sammy Parker had come inside, and he was available.
This is an important defensive stand and series for Michigan. Oregon is backed up in bad field position, at least for this first half. If they can force a punt after this play, they'll give their offense a chance with good field position.
Clock ticking along here. We're under 6 minutes to go in the first half. 21-6, Oregon leading. 3rd down, 11. Five quickly. Pass is completed, but it's well short of the first down to Kellen Taylor. Taylor sliding as he made the catch, and that leaves him 3 yards short, 4 yards short.
Yeah, that's 2 poor passes by Fife in a row. Missed Parker on the previous play, and then that one was thrown so far behind Taylor, he was unable to keep his feet and pick up the first down.
So in to punt is Paul Martinez, and Mr. Excitement is waiting to receive it, Steve Preston. He's averaging better than 19 yards. Now it's a terrible kick. Now let's see what happens with the bounce. Or it takes an Oregon bounce, and Breaston's forced to leave it go, and it's going to roll dead inside the 5-yard line. That's an incredibly successful bad punt.
It's just a matter of perception here, Keith. That ball hit the ground at about the 32. It ends up on the 2. 30 yards of roll.
My goodness. The football gods are wearing yellow and green. Which coaches share the record for the most Rose Bowl game victories? The Aflac trivia question, and the answer is John McKay, Southern California, and his predecessor by some years, Howard Jones, also Southern California.
John McKay, an Oregon Duck.
Yeah, with the tailback here at Oregon. On first down from the 2, the Ducks home all over Chris Perry. And stop him just about the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
Yeah, the amazing thing about Mike Bellotti is, as you look at this graphic, it's in his 9th season here at Oregon. And all the other Pac-10 coaches, 3 years or less. And you look at Dirk Cutter and Jeff Tedford, former coordinators here under Mike Bellotti.
Perry's carried 6 times for 13 yards so far today. Came in leading the country in rushing. Navarre out of his end zone gets the pass away. It is caught by Braylon Edwards up around the 7, and he's knocked out of bounds by Stephen Moore.
Good job all the way around by Navarre and Edwards, and the coverage by Moore. He knows that Edwards can fly. He was laying off him about 6 yards. Let him catch the ball and then closed in a hurry and made a sure tackle.
Preston goes back in now at a wideout. So you've got the 2 burners, Edwards, Preston, and they're together on the bottom side of the screen. Now Edwards goes the other way in motion. Navarre back, gets pressure, gets the ball off, ball caught, and he's got just enough. It was the strength of 6'3", 210-pound Edwards against 5'9", 180 Moore.
Well, Nick Aliotti, defense coordinator, is going to bring pressure. Watch, this is Keith Lewis, and watch who picks him up and allows Navarre to have the time to make this completion. That's Chris Perry with an outstanding block on Lewis, taking his legs out and eliminating him as a factor.
It was that last turn that got the first down for them at the 15-yard line. Ball thrown high, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Preston.
And that may be an inexperienced move there by Preston. That's that bubble screen where he's got a wide receiver who's going to block for him. But he put one hand up for this ball and almost popped it up in the air, where Finney, if he was more aware, might have picked it off and walked into the end zone. Very dangerous play.
3:50 now to play. 3:52 in the first half. 21-6. Oregon with a lead over Michigan. Michigan came in ranked number 5 in the coaches poll. This is Chris Perry going to the outside, cutting back to the 19 or close to it. And the Oregon defense pursuing and got him. Coming up on the Valvoline halftime show, John Terry and the newest member of the ABC sports team, Craig James, will have highlights and analysis, discussing headlines and all of that. And try to get Terry to say something about that story about Auburn football players being paid.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, what I want to know is how come that newspaper man sat on it for 2 years. 3rd down and 7. Pressure, steps away from it, throws into the middle of the field. The pass intended for Massaquoi, the tight end, and Big Ten cannot come down with it as Mitchell and Matson pinched him and knocked it away.
Yeah, Massaquoi's had a little bit of trouble this afternoon. In fact, Navarre has had trouble finding anybody but Braylon Edwards to catch his passes. 5 completions for Navarre out of 11. 4 of them have gone to Edwards.
4th down, another punt, and this is the 4th of the ball game by Finley. No pressure on him. The kick is away, and it's again a tight spiral. And the tackle is made just as the ball arrives Stephen Moore stepped under it, did not fair catch it, and was immediately taken down. The halo rule is gone now, remember, this year. You just give him a chance to catch it, and then you can whack it. The pictures overhead Autzen Stadium from the Aquafina Purity 1 lightship flying 1,000 feet above with the aerial coverage of today's ball game. Aquafina hoping you're enjoying scenic Willamette Valley on a sunny day. I don't see a cloud, and that's rare.
No, not this time of year, Keith. Football time of year, it's always sunny here in Eugene.
Right. Clemens is back in at quarterback now. After Jason Fife had his 2 possessions, the ball is handed to Whitehead, getting a block on the corner. Whitehead first down. Ernest Shazor makes the tackle. A good run by Whitehead.
An unusual first half, to say the least. Marlon Jackson with the blocked field goal, and then Jeremy LeSueur goes 78 yards. Terrence Whitehead on his 19-yard prance to the end zone. How about Jason Fife on the option play from 15 yards out, and then Stephen Moore on the middle return of a Michigan punt goes 61 yards, 21-6 Ducks.
And first down, Michigan 45 with 2.5 minutes roughly to go in the first half. Run it with Whitehead again. He bounces outside, spins, and he's got a penalty flag in his wake from the referee. That might very well be a hold. At least a block in the back. So not many penalty flags in the ball game. That's what, the second one, isn't it? Second flag. So
yeah, and that's something that Oregon has had problems with, penalties. Way too many of them. Bellotti knows to beat Michigan, you have to play a perfect game.
Offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Put it on the 35-yard line after the hold call. To give you the other officials if I can while we got a moment here. Gordon Reese, we told you, the referee. Al Granado, the umpire. Jim Rennie is the head linesman. Mike Batland is the line judge. Brad Glenn, side judge. Field judge Matt Gilchrist. And Terry Wilson is your back judge. Pac-10 crew. First down from the 45. Whitehead again. Oh, a lot of room out there, and they fake it to Whitehead. Fooled me too. Clemens rolls out and throws complete to Leah-Bratton. Nate Leah-Bratton, a sophomore out of Bend, Oregon. That's your neighborhood, Dan.
Yeah, his first catch of the year, and a pretty good one. Again, Clemens showing his arm strength and mobility as he rolls away from this great fake to Whitehead. That pulled Michigan off the tight end Leah-Bratton, but again, he's running away from the line of scrimmage and still able to get enough on the ball to get the completion.
Larry Stevens was the big guy chasing him. So it comes over to the Michigan 45-yard line. And Clemens gives it again to Whitehead. He's a sophomore out of Los Angeles. And last year as a freshman running behind Ontario Smith, I thought it became quite clear he was the heir apparent, but others have surfaced here. And what you really have going at tailback for Oregon is a four-man quartet.
Yeah, with Vincent, you've got a bigger back who's got power. Whitehead gives you the shiftiness and the moves. And Washington is a little bit of a combination of the two, and so is Shaw. So none of the four have really separated themselves, although Whitehead's touchdown looks pretty good right now.
Third down and 8. Ball thrown quickly, and it looked like Shazor might very well have gotten a hand on it and deflected it.
That was a great play by Ernest Shazor. As if he is 6 inches farther towards this ball, he picks it off and scores. It's a quick step. There is Shazor right there. Watch, he reads the eyes and can barely get his hand on that ball. He's a big safety at 6'4". Almost got a pick.
Into punt now. Paul Martinez, his third of the day. Spins it down toward the corner, trying to hit the corner, and it's into the end zone. Boy, he almost had that thing in coffin corner. A moment now with Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, Autzen Stadium, or as Dan likes to call it, the Nut House, is a tale of two stadiums. When the Ducks have the ball, it's quite enough to sing hail to the victors at the 50-yard line, and you can actually hear yourself. But when the Ducks are on defense and Michigan has it, it is absolutely deafening down here. And the difference between Autzen Stadium and the Big House is the sound doesn't go anywhere. It seems to be right on top. And talking with the coaches before the game, they were mostly concerned with the noise and the crowd on the field. Keith.
Todd's Traveling Expo is back with us today as to come in the second half and make sure that you turn on your recorders. You don't want to miss it.
I've got an extra copy in case somebody does miss it. It'll be on eBay tomorrow.
First down at the 20. Wolverines trying to crank it. And bang, ball is out. Incomplete forward pass.
Boy, another
Kevin Mitchell belted Perry.
Yeah, no question about that, Keith. The only question, did Perry have possession of the ball? The officials say no replay, so no play. Incomplete pass, but this is a heck of a hit by Kevin Mitchell. Right here, it's got Perry man for man. He breaks on it fast. Oh, that's close.
Close.
Igor Olshansky from St. Ignatius High School pounces on that ball. Kevin Mitchell, the big play.
He's from the Ukraine via St. Ignatius High School. Born in Ukraine.
Actually, Keith, it's now like college prep.
Yeah. Second down and 10. .39 seconds to go in the first half. Chris Perry trying to get outside, and his legs are taken away by Stephen Moore, who has had a big first half at cornerback for Oregon. Well, Nick Aliota's got to be happy with the work of his troops here in the first half.
Yeah, I would think, Keith, he's been under a lot of fire last year, but he sticks to his guns. He knows that his players appreciate the job that he does, and he has an attacking style. He's going to put 8-9 men up in the box. He's going to force you to throw the ball, and he's going to live with the results.
It is an Oregon timeout. 27 seconds to go, and now we told you about the Traveling Expo. Roll your recorders. Here it is.
Now, the beauty of the Oregon Ducks uniforms are they've got three options. Today, they're going with the Thunder Green. Then you have the Icy Whites. These are the uniforms the Ducks wore last week when they went down to Tucson, and we all know what happened in that game. And my personal favorite, Lightning Yellow. So you got three choices, but the beauty of this whole plan is now you can mix and match. Thunder Green, white pants. Lightning Yellow, white pants. Lightning and Thunder.
Oh yeah, that's right, coming right at you. You better watch out. I see your number, DB. Bam, stiff arm.
20.
I feel it. I'm feeling it. I got eligibility left. I come back for the Ducks. They make a run. What do you think?
I think he forgot to put on something. 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9 for Michigan at the 21. Crowd comes up. They're going to run it. And the gang tackle, Chris Perry. The first guy is Keith Lewis, number 16, a strong safety.
Oregon calls timeout with 18 seconds to go. Watch for them to try now to put pressure on the punter, Adam Finley. And watch number 16, Keith Lewis. He has blocked 7 kicks in his career here at Oregon.
Once again, relay will follow home with 5 minutes remaining.
Todd, has anybody called you about a centerfold yet?
No, they haven't asked me about that, and my career is probably over as playing or modeling, but I'll tell you what, that was Haloti Ngata's uniform. I was filling it out quite nicely. He's over 300 pounds. I tip at 160, so, you know, give me a little break up there, big fella.
Yeah, well, you go to all those strongmen things, you know.
That's
you get
exactly right.
growing muscles.
I do need to visit the weight room, though, after the game.
So there's Thunder Green, Lightning Yellow, and did Todd say Snow White?
Ice White.
Oh, Ice White.
Yes.
I'm glad they don't call him Snow White.
Having fun.
Now remember, Jared Siegel has a career best of 59 yards. That's what the Ducks are thinking now. 3 more points on the board.
Findlay's 5th punt of the first half. It's Stephen Moore. You know how dangerous he can be. They don't get any pressure. They peel back. The punt is very short, but takes a trendy bounce for Michigan. And Moore isn't going to mess with it. He's going to let it roll, and it rolled well down to about the 38-yard line. And so with 5 seconds to play, I don't think a cannon would get it over the crossbar.
Now that fortunate roll, we've seen Martinez get a good roll for Oregon, and now Finley gets a big roll, and that takes any thought of a field goal out of the equation. But there's always a chance for that old Hail Mary play.
Well, remember now that the half will not end on a defensive penalty.
Yeah, Oregon's just going to kneel down, go to the locker room, be thankful and happy. Michigan, they got to go to the locker room and get to work.
I don't think I would want to get greedy here. Don't want to make them mad. There's the knee. Time runs out, and an astonishing first half of play here. It's Oregon 21 and Michigan 6. And here is Mike Bellotti with Todd Harris.
Well, Coach, you've got to be happy the way they rebounded after that great drive and then come up empty.
Yeah, I'm pleased. That could take some wind out of your sails when you do what we did and then give up a touchdown on a block play. But again, I'm happy both sides of the ball have really contributed. In fact, offense, defense, and special teams. It's only a half, though. There's a lot of game left.
Everyone seems to be executing, and you got the nut house into the game.
Well, yeah, we talked about getting our fans into it and let them cut it loose a little bit. They're doing a great job.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Keith?
All right, Todd, thanks very much. So at 21-6, they're in the clubhouse, Oregon leading. Coming up next, the Valvoline halftime show from Times Square Stadium. As startling as the halftime score is, the game stats are even more so.
Well, our Pacific Life game summary, what a difference 1 week makes. Last week against Notre Dame, total dominance by the Wolverines in every category, especially the final one, the 38-0. But this week against Oregon, it's been all Oregon. And you look at the bottom note, almost 2/3 of the first half, Oregon was on offense.
Now, the question I have, sir, is keep Michigan out of their rhythm?
Well, they were never able to get in any type of rhythm on offense or on defense. Oregon had them off balance on both sides of the ball. And then when you factor in the special teams with the miscues and the great punt return, Oregon has played the perfect first half. Question is, can they do it in the second half?
Their history is strong first, sometimes not so strong second. We'll see. Meantime, here's Todd Harris with Coach Lord Carp.
So is the noise and knots and everything you thought it would be?
Well, it's significant, and we knew that coming in here.
What did you tell the guys at halftime to bounce back and get in this thing?
We've got plenty of time. We've got to do a better job of offensively running the football. We didn't protect the passer very well. We dropped some balls. But we've got to settle down and play 30 minutes of football. We've got plenty of time.
Thanks, Coach.
Garrett Siegel kicking off.
Yeah, that was one of those pooch punts, and it really confused the return team and also took them out of, we just talked about rhythm. Well, a kickoff return team has a certain rhythm, and with that short kickoff by Siegel, it took the Wolverines everything they could do to just hang on to that short kickoff.
Siegel was dispatched out here to do some extra work after hooking 2 kickoffs out of bounds, too. So he probably got an earful himself at halftime. Here's Michigan now, first snap of the second half. 21-6, Oregon. John Navarre, the quarterback, back to throw it. Standing at the 12, shoots it incomplete. It was intended for Chris Perry coming out of the backfield. David Martin ran into the play and had to shake his head a little when he got up because he took a whack.
Navarre coming off his tight end. Look at Massaquoi in the middle here, running free. But when Navarre goes to look to him, for some reason, doesn't cut it loose. Instead, he finds Perry covered by 2 Ducks.
And it's 2nd down and 10. And the crowd getting into it now. Edwards is the man returning to the ball. Navarre getting pressure, sacked at the 10-yard line. They'll let him fall forward to near the 12. That was Justin Fennessy coming off the corner.
Fennessy with his 2nd sack of the season. It's a corner blitz, and you have got to have great speed to be able to pull this off. Michigan not ready to pick up the corner. Nobody there to pick up Fennessy, and Fennessy has to struggle with the big John Navarre at 6'6", 230 pounds, but he gets him down.
So it is 3rd down and 18 now for Michigan. And the crowd's all over the Wolverines at that end of the stadium. Back goes Navarre to throw. Lets it go to Edwards, and it's thrown a little behind him and incomplete. Marley Tucker was covering on the play. Perfect pass works, but that was not a perfect pass.
Oh, you know what, Keith? I beg to differ with you. That, to me, was a perfect pass. For some reason, Edwards only put one hand up to catch the ball. The ball was right out in front of him. Navarre throws a hard ball, but you've got to throw it hard, especially across the middle.
Yeah, it was better than I thought.
Yeah, I think that Marley Tucker may have been pulling on that other arm, and that's why Edwards couldn't get two hands on the ball.
Punt will be inside the 5 for Findlay. The wind is kicked up a little bit, and it's a bad kick. Shanked it, and it's going to bounce around the 40-yard line and go out of bounds at about the 41. So that's a 29-yard punt.
And Mike Bellotti's two-quarterback system continues to work. You can see the numbers there. The big one down here for both of them. No interceptions in 3.5 ball games so far this year. And great field position for the lucky quarterback that comes out first, Kellen Clemens.
Big opportunity here. The ball is on the 41-yard line of Michigan for their first snap of the second half, leading 21-6. Clemens gives it away to Chris Vincent, and Vincent, the bigger of the tailbacks, will wiggle around and pick up a couple of 3 yards as Shazer makes the tackle for the Wolverines.
Shazer is such a good tackler, along with Marlon Jackson at the safety position. They come up, crowd the box, and what they're looking for is that cutback run. That time Vincent refused to go where the ball was originally designed to be run, cut back, and there was Shazer.
And he lost 2 yards. 2nd and 12. Bounces off the stack and goes inside the 35 down to the 34. So Vincent redeems himself a bit there. And turns in a good run.
Keith's first trip to Oregon for Lloyd Carr and the Wolverines. You can see that the Big Ten has had problems when they come to the West Coast to play the Pac-10, but I'm sure if you look at the other way around, that the Pac-10 has probably struggled just as much when they've gone back to Big Ten country.
Yes, they have. Michigan losing to Washington and UCLA their last 2 trips out here in the regular season. Clemens, a lot of time, throws, his man is open. Up the middle of the field, it is Kellen Taylor. If he stays in the middle, he might have scored. LeSueur makes the tackle.
Keith, Clemens was real tempted to take off running, wasn't he? You can almost see his anxiousness to get out of the pocket. His first guy's not open there. He sees the pressure coming, but that is a sign of a quarterback that is maturing. First job is to throw the ball. Second job is to get out of the pocket and run. But when you've got these fast, quick receivers as he has to work with, that's a good choice.
Ball is just inside the 20. It's first down, Oregon. No hole there this time for Vincent. They just bury him. I'm not sure he gained a yard.
They haven't had a lot of success hitting the middle of the Michigan defense, except for Whitehead's touchdown run, which came on a similar play as that one. Michigan ignored the wide receiver on the end around fake.
Whitehead is back in now at the tailback position as Vincent leaves, and he is a single back in this formation. You got 3 receivers up there at the top of the formation. And Winslow throws it incomplete. Williams running for the corner, and Kellen Clemens did not get the ball where he could catch it, but he actually had him available. That's a hard pass.
Well, the angle is difficult. The receiver is running away from you at a difficult angle. Your margin for error is about a yard. That time he was off by 2 or 3.
Third down coming up now for the Ducks. Ball is on the 19-yard line of Michigan. Williams, Parker. They're the quick ones. Clemens runs away from the heat. Now 2 Wolverines are after him, and he's going to get. Oh, he throws it away. and he's outside the tackle. He's able to throw it in the vicinity of Williams, an eligible receiver, and so he saves a huge loss.
That would have taken him out of field goal range or really tested Jared Siegel. Clemens lucky to get this ball off. Great pressure by the Wolverines. Lucky that ball carried all the way to the line of scrimmage.
So Siegel is in now, and this looks like it'll be a 36-yarder. The junior out of Sacramento had his first try today blocked. It resulted in a Michigan touchdown. This one's on its way. Plenty of leg, and it's good. And it's Oregon 24 and Michigan 6 at 11:09 to go in the third quarter. The joints jumping in Eugene, Oregon, as the Ducks lead Michigan 24-6 here in the third quarter of play. The whole world is yellow right now. Siegel will kick it off. He's been hooking it today. As you saw in to start the second half, he hit it up in the air and dropped it short.
But notice the hash mark, the far side.
Yep. So what does he do? No, he didn't. I thought he might sink it over the other way. Here it comes up to the 30. LeSueur for a moment had funnel, and he almost got to it. Brought down at the 32-yard line. An ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. And Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better, Dr. Pepper. Well, 11 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Oregon leading by 18 points. Wolverines need to crank it up a bit now. Navarre back to throw. Pressure coming, the pass is away. There's a holding call coming up. It's intercepted by Stephen Moore. Back at the 30-yard line. Forget the holding call. Well, the way things are going right now, Michigan is helping Oregon. You have the interception back. It's put at the 33.
Holding. Offense.
Holding will be refused. They'll take the ball.
Oregon.
Sorry, the hold was on Robbie Valenzuela, who got great pressure on Navarre. Ignored the play fake. You can ignore play fakes when you're up by 18. Here's Edwards working against Stevie Moore. Who's running the pattern here? Looks like Stevie Moore's running the pattern. He saw that play the whole way. That's getting into your playbook, preparing for your opponent, and knowing where Michigan wanted to attack the Oregon defense. Great play by Stephen Moore, his second one of the day.
Moore's had 4 tackles, an interception, and a 69-yard punt return for a touchdown. From the 33, the Ducks go to work with Whitehead, trapped behind the line of scrimmage, and dropped for a 3-yard loss. It was Larry Stevens that did most of the damage. Kansas State's lost to Marshall, I guess the biggest upset of the day. They played in the rain and mud, Virginia Tech and A&M the other night. And Tennessee won a game at Florida. Hallelujah. On second down and 12, Clemens' ball is thrown well to Taylor. And Taylor is down at the 38-yard line. They've got to go to the 43 to get their first down.
Clemens did a great job again of getting the ball out under duress. Watch the pressure from behind. Never sees this pressure coming. Big number 99 is Pierre Woods, and he drills the quarterback, but instant too late for the Wolverines.
Clemens throws a hard ball. If he's got good rotation on it, it probably doesn't feel that hard, but it really has carry. Zinger.
Yeah.
Third down and 6, they're calling it. throw it up, going to run it, bounces outside, gets away. And a first down and a penalty flag. And look out for this one.
Yeah, this one's coming back. They're going to call holding against Oregon. That's why Clemens got away.
Whitehead had a big block for him, but that's for naught.
Quarterback draw designed all the way for Bellatti's offense. There are a number of ducks that could have been called for holding on this play. Looks like Adam Stites holding on Pierre Woods.
Holding, offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still third down.
Number 74 is Stites. There's 99 Woods. Watch the right hand as Clemens breaks to the outside. Woods tries to go with him, but that'll get called every time.
Spot a foul penalty. It'll be third down and 8 after an 8-yard pickup and a 10-yard penalty.
You know, when you run a 2-quarterback system, you more readily will call a quarterback draw or an option play. Both these quarterbacks run very well, Clemens and Fife.
Third and 8. Down the middle. He's lucky to get that one back.
Yeah, that was a great job by Marcus Curry. We saw Stephen Moore do the same thing and intercept Navarre. Well, Curry read that route, knew the post pattern was coming, and if that ball was better thrown by Clemens, it might have been picked off, but the ball was poorly thrown low into the inside.
Marcus Maxwell was the intended receivers. Number 15 for Michigan, that's Reston, Stephen Reston, and Paul Martinez standing back at his 20. He'll hit it around the 24-25. Snaps a little high, but he gets it out, and it's a good kick. And Reston takes it at the 28 and gets punished at about the 32 with Taylor coming down to make the hit on him. 38-yard punt, 5-yard return. The crowd today, a new Auction Stadium record, 59,023. Having Michigan out here is a big thing for these folks, and they're enjoying it with their team leading 24-6. Wolverines to the attack from the 32. Navarre steps up, throws to the sidelines, throws high. Going up to get it is Edwards, and he's got a first down.
Time for our Dodge defensive playbook. It's that corner blitz by Justin Finnessy, but the key on this play is watch Devin Long. He crashes to the inside. As Finnessy goes, he's got too much speed for the tackle to come off and try to block him. Finnessy's second sack of the year. That's quite unusual for a cornerback, but that's the Nick Aliotti system.
8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. First down Wolverines, their own 43. That's Edwards in motion. Navarre gives to Perry. And Chris Berry cuts back into the middle. And Chris has a first down after about a 4-yard, second down after about a 4-yard pickup. Now across the country for an update from John Saunders.
Keith, in the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT, it's Oklahoma putting it to UCLA. Jason White, 22 yards to Lance Donnelly. He carries it the extra yard for the touchdown, 35-10. Keith.
Second down and 6. Navarre's pass is batted in the air and incomplete. Navarre goes up to slap it out of the reach of those big linemen of Oregon. Ciavi'i was the man who slapped it aside. Big junior, 6'4", 320 pounds.
And he's 2 inches shorter than John Navarre. But Navarre has a low delivery. Comes right off the shoulder. And he has had a number of passes in his career knocked down by defensive linemen. Heads up by Navarre, though, to knock that ball down, not catch it, and take the loss.
It says third down and 5, but it's a long 5. Penalty. The penalty for Navarre is he is just clobbered. The pass is incomplete, intended for Avant, and it was Olszewski that planted the Michigan quarterback.
We talked about Igor Olszewski being a converted defensive tackle. Here he is right here. Watch him get to the inside. working against Stevenage. And that's a big loop for a big man, and he punishes Navarre. Watch Navarre's head snap back and hit the turf. That hurts.
And so the Wolverines will punt again. This is number 7 for Finley. High and a lot of air under this one. They'll leave it alone, and it's going to bound around, and the Wolverines will kill it deep. At the 2. So the ball hit softly on the field turf. Didn't kick into the end zone. Didn't kick at all. A great lineup of regional games highlighted by Pittsburgh, Texas A&M, and the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT. And Notre Dame, Purdue, and other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area, or get ESPN Game Plan and watch the game of your choice. One of the games is going to match these Oregon Ducks against Washington State right here in this stadium next Saturday. That's one of the games being considered.
And it's going to be payback time, you old Krug.
Kellen Clemens is dropped. He was almost sacked in the end zone and wiggled loose just enough to get out to about the 3. Mahad was the man giving him fits back there and had his arms around him.
That may be one of the better 1-yard or no-yard runs you'll ever see a quarterback make. Talk about testing the patience and the time he had to throw. Barely got out of that end zone, avoiding that sack.
Sammy Parker's off the field, and so is Demetrius Williams. Whitehead is the tailback. He gets the ball, cuts out. Oh my goodness, he tripped and fell down just when he had about a 4 or 5 yard opening and might very well have picked up a first down, but he's tripped by Adam Snyder. Tripped over Adam Snyder. Time permitting, stay tuned for the 50 Car Rental postgame report. We'll have scores and highlights from around the country. And time ticking along here. Still 24-6. Oregon. They're backed up right now, and they're looking at 3rd down and 8. The wind's blowing around. In fact, if they have to kick from here, they're going to give Michigan a very good field position. Clemens throws it. Ball completed to Whitehead out of the backfield. Wolverines take him down at the 10. He's short of the first down by 2 yards.
This is what Michigan has in mind for rushing the passer. They have the ability with their front 4 to get pressure on the quarterback. That allows them to drop 7 in the secondary. Makes it tough for the quarterback to find a receiver. But 2 plays in a row now for Clemens, knowing where the pressure is and getting rid of the ball or picking up yardage.
5th punt of the ball game now for Martinez, and he needs the kick of his life right here. Gets it out. Not a particularly good kick. Tail dragger that didn't pop forward. In fact, it backed up on him, and it's going to be marked down at the 34-yard line. That was a 24-yard punt.
And that wind you talked about, Keith, just killed that ball.
If you're kicking into a wind like that, 2 things. One, the lower you have it, the better, and you need a tight spin.
Yeah, but the lower you have it, the more chance you give a great return like Preston a chance to make a big play.
He is, however, a freshman, so cut him some slack, I guess. This is Michigan's best starting position of the ball game. Starting a possession at the Oregon 34-yard line. Crowd jumping into it in a hurry, trying to help the defense. Navarre's going to put it up. Throws a hummer, and it is caught by Braylon Edwards. Reach high to get it, and will get it down on the ground at the 29. Matson, the middle linebacker, was with him there.
Great catch by Edwards, and you can see that Michigan is throwing the ball because that's not a misprint. That 1 yard rushing today. Remember, there's been a couple of sacks, and that botched fake punt will go down as a running play. So trouble for Chris Perry and the Wolverines on the ground.
2nd down and 5. He looking left. He throws it left. And the pass is complete. On his knees, it's Jason Avant making the catch. That's close to a first down. It is.
Navarre now has completed 8 passes out of 20 throws. 6 of them have gone to Edwards. That's the first one to another wide receiver.
Call it the 23. Still throwing. Puts high and into the corner of the end zone and incomplete. Intended. He's trying to play jump ball, getting Edwards over Moore, but it doesn't work.
That's not a bad idea, because Edwards at 6'3" is a high jumper, goes 7 feet for the track team. Put it up nice and soft like this and let the athlete go up and get it. But Stephen Moore is having a career day, number 4. He gives away a bunch of inches at just 5'9". He came up with a big play that time.
2nd and 10. Perry is wide to the right side. Navarre throws it the other way, and it's not a touchdown. One on the other side. The official across the way called touchdown. And they give it to Jason Avant.
But I think they're going to talk about it, Keith, because one official is adamant it was not a touchdown. But Avant, number 8, right here, is going to come across the middle and then with great strength.
Hennessy can't hold it.
No, he can't. He had him at the 5-yard line. But look at this determination and leg drive, but he's not in.
He's down. It's a bad call. The guy across the way who couldn't see where the body of the ball was, he saw the ball go across, but he didn't see the rest of the body, and he's the one that called the touchdown. So the Wolverines finally get a touchdown. At 4:03 to go in the 3rd quarter, we might have a good one for the finish. Nineberg. Okay. Troy Nineberg kicks off for the Michigan Wolverines after their touchdown, and he knocks this one well back into the end zone beyond the field of play. The wind is definitely helping carry the ball left to right. So Oregon comes out to the 20. Now a 24-13 ball game. Ducks lead.
Michigan took advantage of that 24-yard punt by Martinez to get great field position, and then threw the ball on every down to get in the end zone.
Jason Fife comes out now at quarterback for Oregon. It's his turn. Played well when he was in. Whitehead is the tailback. Contact. They're pointing at the right guard of Oregon as having moved Hoyer, who's playing with a rubber protection on his hand, pointing at Reynoso.
Dead ball, offside, defense.
Offside, Michigan.
Offside by contact, 5-yard penalty, previous spot, still first down.
Hoyer's really howling about it. But the call stands. Flying high over the University of Oregon today, the Aquafina Purity One lightship. Aquafina hopes you enjoy the lightship when it visits a major event near you. The cameraman aboard is Mike McClure. Up to the 25 for a 1st and 5 now for the Ducks. Life gives to Whitehead. Big hole. And the first down for Oregon out at the 33-yard line.
That's the best running play for the Ducks in a long time, and it comes just power. This is type of power play that Michigan likes to run, as Reynoso is the pulling guard behind in front of the tailback. Here's Reynoso coming here. Watch also Luke Rowley get inside here and give Whitehead a nice hole, and he almost breaks it loose.
13 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown for Whitehead. And he cuts back into traffic that time and gets pinned by Patrick Massey. Pick up on the plays about 3 yards.
Oregon going with the no huddle, which very happy with the way that Jason Fife executes this. But he's not hurrying. The play clock will be, the ball will be snapped normal time, but he's keeping Michigan from substituting with the no huddle.
Air under it, and it is incomplete. And here's a penalty flag thrown. And Marcus Curry was covering Sammy Parker.
Boy, they both had their arms on each other. Usually in that case, it goes against the defense. That ball was a wounded duck by Fife.
Yeah, he misjudged the strength of the wind, I think.
I think you're right. And he got the ball out of spiral. It goes against Curry. But the ball was so poorly thrown. Look how far Parker was behind Curry, but it's Curry's left arm on Parker's right arm that got the flag. Watch him reach out. Could have gone either way, though.
The penalty gives Oregon a first down. The ball is just inside the Michigan 49-yard line. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Fife gets his pass away. Caught. Pass caught by Sammy Parker down at the 20. Curry knocked him out of bounds, but he made the catch, and Curry saying he pushed me.
Now Jerm Herman, defensive coordinator for Michigan, is going to bring the pressure on Fife. But Fife's a senior. He's been in that position before. Does Parker get away with the push here? Curry thought so. Great concentration, not only to catch the ball, but to know where his feet are, especially with the sun bearing down on him.
And it's first down at the Michigan 20 for the Ducks. Fife again wants to throw. Goes good. At the 11-yard line, it's Sammy Parker on his knees making the low catch.
And is Oregon ever answering Michigan's score? Going with the no-huddle offense, keeping the substitutions to a minimum for Michigan, and executing. That pass protection that time was beautiful for Fife. He had all day to find that receiver.
Whitehead, your tailback, has the ball in the middle, looking for the 10 and the first down, and he's got it. Carl Diggs had a hold of him. Whitehead is strong. He's 207 pounds, and he puts it on the 9, first and goal, Oregon.
That's a great tackle by Diggs, because if he doesn't bring down Whitehead, that's another Oregon touchdown.
Parker's to the left against Curry. Fife option, turns it, and gets to the 6, picked up 3 yards. Lawrence Reed has had a big day today for the Michigan defense. Made a lot of tackles.
This is a big guy they got to try and bring down, too. Fife goes about 225. And as we've seen, very good at running the option. Scored last week against Arizona on a similar type of play.
Demetrius Williams goes out now, the smaller man. Kellen Taylor is in at 6'1", 190. He's number 80, and he goes out wide to the right side with Conte Rosario, who is a freshman fullback. And here's the pitch to Whitehead, and Whitehead is trapped for a loss back at the 10 by Jeremy LeSueur. He had no chance. There were 3 Wolverines on him.
And he used his head. He knew he had nothing there. Don't try to get something out of that nothing. That leads to a disaster. That's a smart play by Whitehead, just going down.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 10. Sammy Parker is outside, but they run it for the Whitehead, and they'll take him down close to the 5-yard line. Put it on the near hash mark. It'll bring up 4th and goal, and here comes Jared Siegel.
It's almost as if Bellotti is going to play for the field goal to give the Ducks a 14-point lead here. And also work on the clock, as I'm sure this ball will not be snapped before the end of the quarter. Not only that, but he'll be kicking with the wind at his back.
Fife going to the sidelines, and that's a tip-off that they're going to let the clock run off. So we've done 3 quarters of play with the Oregon Ducks leading 24-13 and down where they can get some more. 24-13. Oregon, ABC Sports presentation, college football. Back after this message and a word from our ABC station. The score by quarters, you see Michigan blocking the field goal try, running for the touchdown, led 6-0. Then Oregon responded 21 points in the second quarter and led 21-6 at halftime. And here's your field goal try now from 22 yards. Oh, it's a fake! And it is short of the goal line. And they are turned away with no points. Siegel running the ball.
And you wonder if Siegel might have tipped it off by changing his approach to the ball. He moves at the last second. Watch him right here. Move to the inside here. Trying to run the play in here, this lane here.
Yeah, he did. Well, he had the lane, but not the speed. And that give away a chance at 3 points.
Yeah, and a 14-point lead.
I don't like it.
That's a terrible call.
Yeah. That's too much of a risk against a team like Michigan. That will give the Wolverines some heart. A gust of wind now as Navarre stands and throws complete to Edwards. And Edwards will have it out for a first down at the 16-yard line.
You know, the other thing about that is they had the break between the quarters to come up with that play. And you know that Michigan is on the sidelines reminding their players they're not going to come with an all-out block. They're going to be looking for the fake field goal. And Oregon obliged them.
So first down from out of the 17 now for the Wolverines. Look for Edwards. He's the go-to guy. Navarre told us that yesterday. He dumps this one off to Perry, and Chris Perry, who has been the hunted today, will pick up 2 yards. The poll question we asked you earlier, the singular wireless poll question, which team should be ranked #1? Here are your results. You see Michigan is leading Oklahoma in that. We didn't include Oregon in the list.
Well, everybody in the state of Oregon is at this game, Keith.
Of course, it ain't over either.
No.
And Navarre back. Good block to protect him, and out of bounds at the 31-yard line is Jason Avant. And Avant's the man who had the touchdown.
And Navarre is really getting in a rhythm now. Michigan not running the ball at all, but they're putting it right on John Navarre's shoulders, and he's responding. No hesitation that time at all. Got back quickly and got it out.
They take Brian Thompson out at the fullback position and put Preston back in the ball game. Gives him more speed. Navarre back to throw. No pressure on him. He gets it away. The pass is completed to Avant again. And Oregon hasn't been able to handle him very well lately. Kevin Mitchell made that tackle, and it's first down at the 47. Monday night, a classic showdown between old division rivals, the Raiders and the Broncos. After 2 tough losses at the hands of the Raiders last year, the Broncos say, come on over, boys, we're going to whoop you. Monday Night Football, live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on ABC. Crowd trying to help their defense here. Michigan on the move. Navarre dumps it off over the middle. And there's a 5-yard gain for Edwards again, and he's looking for Edwards on every play. Keith Lewis made the tackle.
That's not a bad idea to look for Edwards on each play. That's 8 catches now for 82 yards. But this doesn't look like Michigan to me. 11 straight passes for Navarre, and they're moving it. That offensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage, and he's got time to throw.
And it's the first time today, really, they've done it with authority. Second down, call it 6. Pressure, he takes a whack. The ball is thrown to the sidelines. Deep pattern, Preston over the shoulder. Good. Anthony Trucks was the man that nailed Navarre, but the big guy shook it off.
Yeah, he's just showing great leadership and performance. Watch the shot. He sees Trucks coming all the way, too. Trucks hits him right on the chin. but doesn't knock him down. Look at this ball. How good is this? Beautiful throw.
At the 27-yard line, a first down for the Wolverines. "24 points may not be enough." Navarre gives this to Perry, and Chris Perry battles his way to the 25, picking up 2 yards and 2 tough yards. So it'll be second down and 8.
And now you look at these two teams. Oregon players have got their hands on their hips. That tells me they're getting worn down. This defensive line has been rushing the passer. They've got to be very, very aware of Chris Perry and his ability to pop through the line and go all the way.
Yeah, and they've just had taken Sivai out now. He looked tired.
They don't have enough men out there, Keith. They had to call time. Ducks have 10 men on the field right now.
Yeah, they had 2 go off and 1 came on. So it's a tired group, and they need some rest. Second down, long 7 from the 25-yard line of Oregon, Michigan. And Navarre's throwing for the end zone. Edwards is there, and it's incomplete. The coverage by Justin Fennessy. They've battled all day, and that time the ball was a fraction high, and Edwards had his hands on it but couldn't reel it in.
And the wind is very gusty right now, and this ball, again, it gets out of spiral, and it's going to float on Navarre. He's got Edwards. Edwards has a touchdown here, but the ball just floated long enough and floated behind Edwards where he had to reach back where Fennessy was.
And so it is third down and a long 7. Navarre looks down the middle, looks to the right, goes to the right, and that's incomplete. A lot of time to pick and choose. He went shopping, and he missed Edwards again.
But Edwards, by getting one hand up on that ball, prevented Oregon from picking it off. There were 2 Duck defenders behind Edwards. But by going up high at 6'3", watch number 1 here. And as this ball comes in, look at the 2 Ducks behind him. If they pick it off, they might score.
Garrett Rebus is on the field for Michigan to try a field goal from 42 yards into the wind. The holder is Gutierrez. Matt Gutierrez.
Too long.
Burned the clock.
Yeah, they did. Boy, you talk about a critical mistake. His career long is 43 yards. This will push him back to 47 yards.
Still 4th down.
Now I might want to punt it.
And that's exactly what Lloyd Carr's thinking.
Pin him deep.
But on the sidelines, the offense is gathering. Navarre right in the middle of this huddle. And here comes the Michigan offense.
On 4th and 12. Well, quick plays haven't been great today for either side. Navarre back, going to throw it. He throws, it is caught by Edwards right in front of Fennessy, and it works for Michigan. It wasn't a trick play at all. He just simply dropped back, looked for Edwards, threw it high. Fennessy couldn't defend it, moved the chains.
Great job by Navarre. Real gutty call by Lloyd Carr and Terry Malone, offensive coordinator. There's Trucks again hitting the quarterback. Edwards bobbling the ball, hanging on, picking up a huge first down.
At the 14 of Oregon. Played all day with very few first downs, but all of a sudden, the wheels are turning for the Wolverines. Navarre back, throws hard, good to Edwards again, penalty. I thought it was a penalty flag. It's a piece of his shirt coming off.
Actually,
and the helmet.
It's his headband that he wears under his helmet.
Well, that'll tell you something about the ferocity of the hit.
Again, the rhythm is there for Navarre. 5 steps and let it go. Edwards having a career day as he loses his headgear.
Maybe I should say the caliber of the hit. Edwards is out of there right now. Tab is in replacing him. Second down and 7 for the Wolverines at the Oregon 10. 24-13 ball game. Oregon leading. Crowd trying to help the defense. Navarre looks left. Goes down the middle, and it is incomplete. He is out of bounds beyond the field of play. Jason Avant. Well, that was close.
Yeah, let's see just how close. Good hard spiral by Navarre. Avant out of bounds with both feet.
Yeah.
Good position by the official there, right on the spot. You see that incompletion.
It is third now and 7. And Edwards is back. I would certainly double him, but they don't. He goes the other way, and it is touchdown, Michigan. Steve Weston in between defenders.
In between defenders and another Michigan receiver on that side, Keith. And you know, the Wolverines did this in a hurry. There's still over 11 minutes to go on this in this quarter. How about 98 yards through the air primarily? And it doesn't hurt to get a little bit lucky at times. Between Finney and Moore, Reston gets his first touchdown catch.
Michigan's going for 2. It's a 24-19 ball game. And they're going for 2 to make it, they hope, 24-21. Look at Edwards coming back toward the ball. He throws it to him. He's down at the goal line. Good. Kevin Mitchell had a hold of him, but Braylon Edwards is a big guy, 6'3", 210, and he falls on the goal line just far enough to get the call. And so it is now Oregon 24 and Michigan 21.
Crowd reacting. They think that Edwards' knees may have been down before he reached out. Kevin Mitchell with the tackle, but too late as Navarre, playing the hot hand, leads Michigan back into this game.
How many passes has Edwards caught now? 10. He's caught 10 balls. That's close, man.
Yep. There have been a number of close plays, and they've all seemed to have gone Michigan's way when it comes down to the goal line.
Oregon gave up the field goal down here, and they're back now in a 3-point ball game and a fight to try to save what has been a valiant effort for them and what at times seemed astounding.
Yeah, that decision to go for the fake field goal took all the momentum away from an Oregon football team, and Michigan has responded like true champs.
That's a short, high kickoff. Let it go out of bounds, young men, and you'll get the ball at the 35, and that's where they'll get it. Tomorrow, Mia Hamm leads Team USA as they begin their quest to repeat as champions of the FIFA Women's World Cup. First up, European powerhouse Sweden. That'll be tomorrow at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 in the morning Pacific, here on ABC Sports Championship Television. So Oregon has the ball at the 35, but Oregon must now come, Dan, with purpose if they are to hang on.
It'll be interesting to see what Bellatti's choice at quarterback. He's going to go with a senior, Jason Fife. The other interesting thing apart about the Oregon offense, will they go with the no huddle, which Fife executes better?
Terrence Whitehead is the deep back, double wide, top of the picture. Give the ball to Whitehead. He finds daylight, and he's across the 40 and out to the 41. So that's a pickup of 6, maybe 7 yards, and a good first down gain.
Yeah, you watch Whitehead, and he's almost making too many moves instead of just running straight ahead and going north and south. That little cut there, it may have cost him the first down. You
don't need to be 2-2-ing around when you can just go in this case, east and west. This field is laid out east and west. Fife is throwing. The ball is completed to Rosario, the freshman fullback, and he takes it inside the Michigan 40-yard line. Just barely. They're going to put it right on the 40 where he hit the chalk. So Rosario, who comes out of the backfield in the fullback position, a freshman from Dayton, Oregon. That's a big play. Jason Fife coming out, working well, and is moving the team with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to play. On the first down snipe, Fife's pass is deep to the corner, and it is overthrown. Intended for Sammy Parker. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Oregon on the Michigan 40-yard line, with Oregon leading 24-21 in the ball game, and 10 minutes and 13 seconds to play. Oregon had the big lead at one time, 21-6 at halftime, but Michigan is starting the comeback here in the second half. We welcome those of you who've been watching the UCLA-Oklahoma game with the Sooners out in front 42-24. This has been an exciting football game. We've had some weird things happen in it, and time permitting and opportunity permitting, we'll show you some of them. Oregon now fighting, trying to hang on as Fife throws hard, and the pass is incomplete. Marcus Curry defending Demetrius Williams on that play, and the crowd is hooting about it.
Keith, our Pacific Life game summary. A couple of wacky plays in this one. Oregon with a controversial decision to fake this field goal on 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. Would have given the Ducks a 14-point lead, but Siegel has stopped short of the end zone. After a 98-yard drive, Navarre hits freshman Steve Preston for that touchdown, and then Braylon Edwards for the 2-point conversion for a 3-point ball game.
Edwards has had a huge second half. He's caught 10 balls today for Michigan. He has been the primary target. And a timeout is called here by Jason Fife, the Oregon quarterback. So Oregon will have one timeout remaining at 10:06 to play in the ball game. Michigan coming in ranked 5th in the country. Oregon 22nd in the coaches poll. What was called by Bill Moose, the athletic director at Oregon, the premier football game of the decade for the Ducks and perhaps for the whole state of Oregon. And it's been a good one. A crowd of 59,023, a stadium record crowd. The return of Oregon to Michigan to complete the home-and-home arrangement will take place in 2007, because it was supposed to be last year, and Lloyd Carr did not want to play Oregon last year because he had too much of a non-conference load as it was. Now a moment with Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, on the Oregon sideline, defense is certainly the matchword right now. Don Pelham loved the spirited conversation with his linebacker crew and his defense. He said, we have to find the man on pass coverage. You got to fly to the ball. With Oregon's penchant for fading, in the second half, he said, we cannot die. We've got 10 minutes to win this game. Keith.
And they're looking at 3rd down and 10 right now. If they can pick up the first down, then they might have Siegel to give him a chance for the 3 points that they disdained earlier. Pressure coming from the backside. Fife is sacked. Grant Bowman, the first man, Larry Stevens, the second man, and the Ducks lose all the way back to midfield, and that will be punting time for Oregon.
And that's only the first sack for Michigan this afternoon. And what a great time for it if you're a Wolverine fan, because that pushes the Ducks back. They had decent field position there, but that's about a 9-yard loss for Fife.
Paul Martinez, a freshman punter, is in. Marcus Curry is backing up. The wind will be helping Martinez. He'd like to kill it deep if he could. Gets it out of there, gets it up into the wind. It's a good-looking punt. It is short of the goal line, and the Ducks will kill it deep. They pin Michigan back inside the 5. Demetrius Williams was down to get the ball. So the freshman delivers a tremendous effort, a 44-yard punt, and kills it on the 4-yard line.
Well, the good news is they're on the 4-yard line. Last time Michigan took over, they were on the 2. That didn't stop them. They went 98. This would be unbelievable if they were to go 96 this time. But they've got a chance to make history.
And welcome to those of you watching Florida State, Colorado. 33-7 Seminoles in that one. Here in Eugene, Oregon, it's 24-21 Oregon. Michigan from their own 4-yard line on first down, going for the bundle. And it is incomplete. Braylon Edwards, covered by Justin Fennessy, running down the sidelines, could not get to it.
And that history I was talking about, Keith, the biggest comeback in Michigan school history is 17 points against Virginia in '95, the season opener that year. They trailed by 18, 24-6 in this third quarter.
They had a terrible first half, but about the middle of the third quarter, they started to find themselves. And they're beginning to look more like the Michigan team everybody was anticipating. The crowd, thunderous, trying to help its defense. Navarre's been throwing to Braylon Edwards all day, and he throws one more time, and it's incomplete. Kevin Mitchell in on the coverage, the linebacker on that side.
Todd Harris talked about how Oregon has failed to hold on to leads in the recent history, and you can see last year against 4 top opponents in the Pac-10. You go back a year before, this loss here was the only loss in that great senior season of Joey Harrington.
Third down and 10 from their own 4 for Michigan. This could be a big play. Big play. Navarre looking, hunting, and throws, and caught by Jason Avant, who has had a big second half. He scored the first touchdown for the Wolverines. He ran free that time right in front of Rodney Woods and made the catch.
Well, Navarre's a pocket passer, and his offensive line is giving him a foolproof pocket this afternoon. Look at that. No duck within 5 yards of Navarre, and new defensive back Rodney Woods gets turned around by Avant and schooled as Michigan converts that big third down.
5 catches for Avant, 79 yards and a touchdown. That's a big day, too. On first down now from the 27. Navarre all day, and now they sack him. Getting back inside the 20-yard line, it's Robbie Valenzuela, the first man to get to him. Now let's spend a moment with John Saunders for this update.
Keith, the Verizon wireless update. Notre Dame has to find their offense somehow. Holiday is picked up by Greg Kaplan, who returns it 40 yards for a touchdown. Michigan State grabs a 22-9 lead, and they win it 22-16. The final as the Irish drop to 1-2. Oklahoma still blowing out UCLA, and Florida State doing likewise to Colorado.
A long season in South Bend, doesn't it? Navarre looking and looking and looking, goes outside with it to Breston, and Breston is tackled right about the original line of scrimmage by Keith Lewis. Time permitting, stay tuned for the 50-car rental post-game report with scores and highlights. And there are lots of them. Highlights, I mean. Michigan really the only top 10 team that went on the road for a big ball game today, and they're struggling, trailing 24-21 with 7:20 to play. Third down and 9 now. Navarre looking around and lets it go, and it is incomplete. He threw it to Edwards again, and this time the Ducks had 2 people on him. Lewis and Woods. Woods needs help. He can't handle it.
No, very few defensive backs can handle Edwards. Again, I think the wind really affected that pass as well. Great job by Edwards turning around the defensive back. Ball kind of floats, and finally the Ducks give Woods some help with Keith Lewis coming over.
Adam Findlay into punt. It'll be his 8th of the ball game. Stephen Moore, who returned one. It's blocked. The Ducks have a shot at a touchdown. He falls down. It's picked up. It is in the end zone. Fighting for it. Touchdown, Oregon. Jordan Carey.
Keith, we talked about Keith Lewis. That's his 8th career kick block. Number 16, the senior strong safety, gets in there and takes the ball off the foot of the punter, Adam Finley.
I think Oregon has just been hit with a celebration flag, but they'll take it.
They came off the bench to congratulate Keith Lewis. Number 16 is Lewis. Look at this job here. He takes the personal protector and delivers him to the punter. Now the ball is loose, and finally it is Jordan Carey.
Yep. A true freshman out of Olympia, Washington, made that recovery. Finally, it looked like it was a hot rock and nobody wanted it. But finally, they got control of it. Gordon Reese, the referee, is talking to Michigan right now,
giving them the option, I think, where they want this penalty to be assessed. Keith, we talked earlier in the week about this game, you and I, and you said something about special teams, didn't you?
Yep, I believe in them.
The touchdown is good. After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct on Oregon. Michigan has chosen to take that 15-yard penalty on the succeeding kickoff.
So they'll take the penalty on the kickoff, which Oregon, if they convert here, will, with a kick, it'll go for a 10-point lead. If they go for 2, then it'll be an 11-point lead. But they're, I think, doing the smart thing. They're going to kick it.
And I think Michigan's doing a smart thing by making Oregon kick off from the 20-yard line.
Yep. Kick is good. So Siegel gets it through. And at 6 minutes and 55 seconds to play in a ball game, it is Oregon 31 and Michigan 21. Well, the Oregon Ducks today have set a new stadium record at home, 59,023. Of course, they've renovated and enlarged it. But this was a big ball game for the whole state of Oregon. And this is the way the scoring has evolved across the day. You can see it was 21-6. At one time it was 24-6. And then Michigan started to crank it up. And now it's a 10-point lead for Oregon with 6 minutes and 55 seconds to play. Just as a matter of reference here, they had over 111,000 last week for Michigan's Notre Dame game in Ann Arbor. So both schools have had records. That's an NCAA record. The ball is fumbled inside the 5 by Jeremy LeSueur. And look out. LeSueur coming up the sidelines with a big return. He's all the way out to the 42-yard line before the place kicker, Jared Siegel, knocks him down. And Siegel took a pretty good lick from him. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. Capital One. What's in your wallet? And Coca-Cola. Let's make it real. He had a penalty flag on the return. It's a very common occurrence, it seems, these days. And most of the time, it's the same old call, blocking in the back.
That was a great kickoff by Siegel, but he kicked it so low it allowed LeSueur to get a big return. But part of that reason for that return was holding against Michigan. That'll pin him back inside the 20.
So the good field position out beyond the 40 negated by the penalty. And the ball is put down on the 18-yard line. Navarre sets him up with Perry behind him. Perry has been controlled so far today. The ball is thrown to the sidelines. Again, it's Edwards. Who else? And a penalty flag over near where the quarterback released the ball. It's holding against Michigan. So the Wolverines now got themselves in the foot twice with mistakes.
After the kickoff, they had the ball out near the 40-yard line. 2 flags will push it back to the 10. Going against the wind and against the clock.
The football is moved back down the field to the 9-yard line.
Boy, how big was that block punt by Keith Lewis? Gave the Ducks points, but it also gave them back the momentum and this crowd.
It is first down and 19 from the 9. Penalty flag. That might be an offside encroachment at least by Oregon. I thought the defensive left end got into the neutral zone. The pass is completed to Massaquoi, the tight end. So it is an offside call against Oregon.
And our Chevrolet drive summary, this is Michigan in the second half. Started off terribly, but then got a couple of touchdowns. This was an incredible drive after the fake field goal try by Oregon.
If the Oregon Ducks hold on and win this ball game, it will be one of the biggest wins in the school's history.
There's no question about that, Keith. Perhaps the only thing to compare to it would be the Ducks win against Colorado in the Fiesta Bowl a couple years back with Joey Harrington.
First and 14. Navarre back to throw. Plenty of time. Goes shopping. Now pulls it down, takes off, and gets across the 20. Out near the 22 before Kevin Mitchell brings him down.
Now, sometimes when you're back as quarterback, the things just open up for you, kind of like the Red Sea parting. But Oregon will fight this all day long. Let Navarre try to run it and then tackle him.
Second down and 6 now. He lets it go, and it is pulled in. Steve Breston, young man from Pennsylvania, making another catch, and that's going to be a first down. So at 5:53 to play, the clock stopping to move the chains. The Wolverines are still alive, trailing by 10 points, 31-21. Out of the shotgun. Not dinking around now. Just go to the shotgun and throw it. Oh, my goodness. He's lucky to get that one back. All Stephen Moore needed was another 2 inches of height, and he's got it.
He's only 5'9", Keith, so he's very disappointed he didn't pick that one off. Navarre got lucky there, threw the ball high as he has done most of the day. How about Chris Perry leading the nation coming into this game and rushing and scoring? Will this cost him a trophy at the end of the year?
Second and 10 from the 32. Navarre's pass is thrown and completed to Breston. So all of a sudden, the Ducks paying special attention to Edwards, and Breston is stepping up. Breston and Avant have been the two guys that stepped up for Michigan in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, you put a number 1 on number 15 here, and he does resemble Anthony Carter a great deal, especially in his ability to go get that ball.
At the 43 of Oregon, first down Michigan. Navarre, no pressure, gets it away, and it is caught by Avant. So it's the Breston Avant show right now. That tackle by Tennessee. They've been picking on Justin all day. He's held up quite well.
And you know the other thing, Keith, after every pass in college football, every pass that's completed for a first down, the clock stops.
Yep.
So Navarre is doing a great job making completions and conserving time.
Yep, they've got to get him off his rhythm somehow. Now Oregon comes in. They got almost everybody up on the line of scrimmage. 8 people. Navarre back, loops it to the sidelines, and that one is intercepted by Justin Tennessee and brought back to the 25-yard line. He got in front of Breston, and lo and behold, look what I found, mama.
I can only think that Navarre just did not see Tennessee, because Tennessee was between him and the quarterback, and the receiver rather.
So timeout, 5:02 to play in the ball game. Oregon has the ball in their possession. Well, it's Big John Navarre anguishing over that interception he just threw, giving Oregon the ball. First down at their own 25, 5:02. Oregon leading by 10 points. Kellen Clemens is now in at quarterback. Jason Fife ran the last 2 series. And and they give it to Whitehead. Whitehead trying to get to the outside, and he's tracked down in a hurry by Pierre Woods, and a pickup of about a yard on the play.
Great job by Pierre Woods as he just dove out and tackled Whitehead from behind, and he had to come a long way to make that tackle.
Michigan is now called timeout. They have 2 times out remaining in the ball game, and Oregon is happy to get it. The Oregon defense is very happy to get it.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back. Well, now, clock. That's the thing everybody's got an eye on here, and nobody's gone home. All 59,023 who came are still here. As we have 4:55 to play in the ball game, it is 2nd down and 9 for the Oregon Ducks, leading Michigan 31-21. Clemens pass complete to Nate Leobrotten, and a penalty flag is thrown back where the quarterback was turned upside down. Let's see about that. It's going to be roughing the passer. Oh, that's a big one, because the pass was completed well up the field.
Yeah, it's a late shot by Scott McClintock as he works out his frustrations. Number 36 there with the late hit. What a great throw by Clemens, right, leading Nate Leobrotten perfectly. The big play will get 15 more yards for the personal foul, roughing the passer.
So they're going to go from their 26-yard line all the way to the Michigan 37. Wow.
7 penalties against Michigan, but 3 here in the 4th quarter. 1 on special teams, 1 on the offense, and now the defense gets in the act.
That's a 37-yard net on that play, including the penalty. That's a lot. At this point in the game, 4.5 minutes to play. Clemens gives it to Whitehead, and the Wolverines eat him up.
And the Wolverines should use their timeout here.
And they have.
Because now Oregon's thinking 3 points. They got a great field goal kicker in Jared Siegel, and he will have the wind at his back if they try a long field goal.
The 2 Oregon quarterbacks, Clemens on the left, Fife on the right.
And you can see the system that Mike Bellotti very courageously has used all year is working. You know, it worked against Mississippi State and Nevada and Arizona, but you talk about stepping up in class. Well, these 2 men, to their credit, have made it work this afternoon. No interceptions in almost 4 games now for Oregon quarterbacks.
31-21 Oregon. And it's 2nd down and 9, and Clemens spends Oregon's last timeout.
And that's inexcusable because they had time, because the Wolverines just called timeout. They just spent too much time getting the play called in the huddle.
Didn't want to take the hit on the penalty. As we come back to Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon, the home team, the Ducks, lead 31-21. 4 minutes and 21 seconds to play in the ball game. It is 2nd down and 9 with the football resting at the 36-yard line on the Michigan side of the field. Oregon now with no times out remaining, and Michigan has 1 left. Wolverines have 3 turnovers and 3 penalties. Come late. They've come when they hurt them the most. This is an end around. It is Demetrius Williams with the ball getting down to the 30. He's a burner, but the Wolverines reacting well and reading the play well. Stop him. And a timeout by Michigan. If so, that will be their last.
And right now, if the Ducks were going to try a field goal, it would be about a 49-yarder. Special teams have been a big factor, to say the least, in this game today. First quarter, this blocked field goal by Marlon Jackson was returned by Jeremy LeSueur. And now Oregon's going to try and fake a field goal from the 5-yard line. Siegel gets stopped short of the goal line. And then Keith Lewis delivers the personal protector to the punter. And Oregon falls on the ball eventually in the end zone for their 30th point. Extra point made it 31. 31-21 is the score. And we didn't even include the botched fake punt by Michigan or the punt return of 69 yards by Stephen Moore for the touchdown.
Or the block of the field goal by Michigan at the outset, in which they took the lead 6-0. So there's been all kinds of freaky things going on here today. And perhaps in the minds of the pollsters, and the minds of the pundits, and the minds of the faithful for the Wolverines, the worst story is up there on the scoreboard. The number 5 team in the coaches polls trailing by 10 points. If Oregon had kicked that field goal down here instead of trying to run it in for a touchdown, they'd be leading by 13 points, forcing Michigan to think 2 touchdowns instead of a possibility of a tie with a touchdown and a field goal. If. Yeah. We're playing Runyon-esque football here.
There's a whole bag of ifs in this one.
Not Kipling-esque, but Runyon-esque, because it's too wild and unpredictable to be Kipling-esque. 3rd down, 3. Clemens still got it. Now he's got to dump it to get his first down. He does it. He dumps it off to his tight end, Tim Day, and Day goes inside the Michigan 10. And a penalty flag has been thrown. Hold the phone.
And they should have called Day for holding, but they're going to call Oregon for an illegal man downfield. Tim Day was originally a pass protector for Kellen Clemens. Got away with a hold.
Clemens, in running that looping route that he was running, was trying to draw the defender to him to free Day, and it all worked out except for the ineligible man downfield.
Yeah, it took so long that the lineman thought that Clemens was running with the ball. That's why they released and went downfield too far.
Ineligible downfield offense. That's 5 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
So the Ducks have hurt themselves with a mistake.
Let's watch number 85, Tim Day, here working against the linebacker. He gets away with it.
They lose a 23-yard gain and a 1st and goal field position with that penalty. Ball is back at the 35, and it's now 3rd down and 8. Lost his balance, lost his momentum, and Terrence Whitehead goes down right about the line of scrimmage. LeSueur pinned him down. And I don't know, they're going to, let's see, is it going to be a field goal, or do they just pooch it?
I think the smart thing would be to pooch it.
You don't want to kick it in the end zone and give them the ball on the 20. Try to kill that thing as deep as you can.
Yeah.
If you go for a field goal, then you're going to give the ball over if you miss it at the 35. And right now they're on the field, and it looks to me like they're going to, neither team with a timeout remaining. So he's going to come to the line of scrimmage and set there probably and try to get something, Michigan to move or something.
Well, they're going to work on that clock, Keith.
And work the clock.
I doubt that they snapped this ball.
I don't think they will, but they did.
Man.
And they run it. And Whitehead runs it right into the middle and got very little out of it. And
Why?
Michigan will get control of the football at the 34-yard line.
That makes no sense at all. That is 2 decisions today that I just do not understand by Mike Bellotti. Why not punt that ball?
Now let's check in with John in New York.
Well, Keith, you want to see an unbelievable performance. Antonio Perkins takes this one and goes 75 yards on the punt return. It's 3rd touchdown of the game. That is a record in the NCAA. 277 total yards, also a record.
And back here, it's the Navarre to Edwards combination working again, getting another 1st down for the Wolverines up at the 47-yard line.
The only thing I can think, Keith, is that we've had such wacky plays on special teams today that Bellotti just didn't want to put his special team out there and risk a punt block or a field goal block. But that is puzzling that they didn't just let the clock run out, take the 5-yard penalty, push them back a little bit, and then pooch the ball down deep, pin Michigan back.
Clock stops when the chains are moved. Michigan trailing by 10, 2:47 to play. Navarre looking again for Edwards. Throws. That one is incomplete. Tennessee defending on the play, defending Avant. Avant and Breston have been very successful over the last 5 or 6 minutes in this ball game, and prior to that time, it's been the Navarre to Edwards combination that's just going for a ton in the fourth quarter.
Well, of Navarre's 24 completions, 22 of them have been to those 3 men you just mentioned.
Yep. Second down and 10. When you're throwing the ball all the time, you don't use the clock all that much. And there he goes to Edwards again, and it's complete in front of Moore. Stephen Moore not quite big enough to get him on that pattern. And it's another first down for Michigan.
Great pass by Navarre, Keith. Excuse me. And the bonus is you get out of bounds, you stop the clock, you get to rest your big horses up front. That offensive line, again, is in control, giving Navarre time to find these receivers.
36-yard line of Oregon, first down Michigan. 2:35 to play. All the time in the world, he's going for the bundle. It's incomplete. Close. Braylon Edwards against Justin Fennessy, and Edwards got one hand on it. Couldn't hold it.
Yeah, it looked like the ball just died at the end and nose dived into the turf. Good coverage there by Fennessy. I'd like to see Edwards lay out, put 2 hands out there, but he's got to be tired himself. You know, we talk about the big guys getting tired. Wide receivers.
He's coming up.
Yeah. 12 catches for 132 yards for Edwards so far.
Calvin Bell is now in there as a wideout for Michigan. Fresh legs. Blitz coming. And they get it away. It's Breston, and Breston is free. He's gone. He got away from Rodney Woods. Woods made a terrible play. He ran right by him. Breston caught the ball, turned, and there was nobody between him and the goal line. So Michigan. Do they go 1 or do they go 2?
This will get it down to a 3-point game.
They're going to go 1.
But you never know. They might fake it again.
Well, there's always overtime. You know, John Navarre is the quarterback on the holder. And the kick is blocked. Igor Olshansky blocked it. What else could happen?
Well, Michigan's got an onside kick coming up, Keith. That could happen next. Igor, 6'6", right in the middle of the pile. He's an easy guy to find, too. Right about there. Watch him push and get up and stuff this ball and keep the lead at 4. He doesn't even get penetration. That ball was kicked too low.
Yep, way down.
Yeah, Keith, you talked about Rodney Woods. He's a junior college transfer. The blitz by Oregon, they get burned because they do not have a corner at this point right here to make this play. Breston with a sharp cut, no hesitation, up the field into the end zone.
Michigan has missed 2 extra points today, or points after touchdown, if you will. So you figured onside kick here, because here comes all the good hands people out for Oregon.
200 yards for the Wolverines.
The fourth quarter. That's all in the air. It's in the air.
Absolutely. As Breston goes over 100 yards receiving on just 6 catches, 2 of them resulting in touchdowns.
Michigan goes home to play Indiana next week, while Oregon is home to play Washington State. And here's the squib, and it's off an Oregon man, and Michigan may have it. Michigan's got it.
Braylon Edwards has it, Keith. The wide receiver on the kick, the onside kick team. And Oregon came up before the line, tried to make the catch. And that's a mistake on the special teams.
Somebody got one hand out there trying to grab at the ball.
First down at the 44.
That was pretty clumsy.
Right here, watch this man cross the line here. You don't have to do this. You can wait for the ball to come to you.
Wow. Tim Day, it looked like. So it's first down Michigan. The ball game in the balance at the 44-yard line. They're in a shotgun. And Navarre looking around with no pressure. Throws over the head of Avant. Avant was available because Finney was giving him about 3 yards.
And Keith, because of that missed extra point, Navarre and the Wolverines have to get this ball in the end zone. They cannot kick a field goal to tie the game. And they have no timeouts with which to work.
Second down and 10. Navarre looking left, throws it left. It's incomplete, intended for Avant.
Let's give Rodney Wood some credit that time. He was in the back pocket of Jason Avant, and Navarre had to throw it away.
Here in Eugene, Oregon, it's 31-27. Oregon leading Michigan with 2 minutes and 2 seconds to play. We've had other people from other regions join us. We welcome you. This has been frantic, this fourth quarter. It's been mostly Michigan except for a block punt and an Oregon touchdown. Wolverines trying to salvage their high ranking. The ball thrown to the side, and it's completed. Incredible catch by Braylon Edwards, but that's been the combination in the fourth quarter. That's gone for more than 200 yards. Stephen Moore just simply not tall enough to defend this.
He did his very best, did Moore, but so did Edwards. His 13th catch, 144 yards for Edwards.
And it's first down just inside the 45. Navarre sacked back at the Michigan 45. Robbie Valenzuela finally broke through. Oregon led at one time 24-6 in the third quarter.
The Ducks are trying to get fresh troops out there, Keith. Excuse me, a new defensive line.
They need some rest. Navarre gets his pass away. That is caught sliding across. And now they'll wave it off. They say no. Steve Breston, they say no.
Well, that's an amazing call by the officials, because there were 3 officials a lot closer than the man who eventually makes the call.
The man looking right down the barrel at it was the man who made the call, and he could see the ball and the body.
Boy, he ran 30 yards though, and Lloyd Carr's giving him heck as Lloyd puts in a 30-yard dash.
Neither team with a timeout remaining.
They reset the play clock.
1:14. Third down and 19 for Michigan. Navarre's pass is thrown underneath all the coverage and the traffic, and it's completed to Massacoy, the tight end, and he will get to the 41-yard line.
That's a smart play by Navarre. You're not going to pick up all 19 yards. Throw it to an underneath receiver. Let him run for it. Good tackle by Rodney Woods as he bounces back.
Clock running inside 50 seconds. No timeout remaining, and they don't stop it unless you can incomplete or complete it and move the chains for a first down. And Navarre looking around. Throws, and it's incomplete. Intended for a very tired Braylon Edwards. Now it is fourth down. A record crowd of 59,023.
It's over, Keith.
It's over.
Yep. Ducks will get the ball. Michigan cannot stop the clock.
No timeout. They used them all up.
What a heck of an effort by Michigan to fight back.
On the fourth down play, that was a difficult play to complete. Braylon Edwards, what a day he's had, huh?
Just couldn't gather enough strength to get up and make another fantastic catch.
So with 33 seconds and no times out remaining, Oregon, all they have to do is just freeze the ball and get the clock running and win the ball game. A huge upset. Today's Chevrolet players of the game are Braylon Edwards and Stephen Moore. Edwards of Michigan, Moore of Oregon. Recognition of their efforts. Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Braylon Edwards, 13 catches for 144 yards. Remarkable. It's over. And Oregon upsets Michigan 31-27.
An incredible win for this program, Keith, and for the state of Oregon. First of all, to get Michigan willing to come out to play in this tiny little stadium. And then to take the champions to the very end. Great game by both teams.
Now here's Todd Harris.
Well, Coach, you gave the fans one heck of a game. I think there are going to be a lot of cardiologists busy this afternoon. What was the key to the victory today?
I think the key was never giving up. I think our defense really stepped up big at the end. We let them go through us a couple times, but when we needed to, came up with big plays. Justin Finney's interception, Keith Lewis's block of the punt for the touchdown. I mean, those are huge plays. And this is truly a team effort. I mean, offense, defense, and special teams all stepped up.
You talk about Michigan coming in here. You said we aren't playing the helmet. We're not playing the tradition. We're just playing Michigan. Your kids bought into that. That and special teams were huge for you.
Well, that's why you got to play the game. It's not about tradition. It's not about the uniform. We talked a lot about that. And I have great respect for Michigan, but I'm very proud of my Ducks today.
Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Keith.
So for Mike Bellotti, a major mark in his career. 9th season at the University of Oregon. Once again, your final score. Oregon 31 and Michigan 27. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. There is the cloud in the sky in the Willamette Valley, and why would there be? Don't forget Monday Night Football, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. The Oakland Raiders at Denver against the Broncos.
Welcome back to the ADT Coaches Spotlight on ESPN News.
Lloyd Carr and Michigan get Indiana Saturday, noon Eastern time, ESPN Game Plan. Carr talking about the loss to Oregon and the play of his quarterback, John Navarre.
Turnovers and theirs did, and that was a big factor. But for the first 30 plays of the game, our offense did very little to help our defense. And they were on the field, but offensively, we didn't block very well. We didn't protect the quarterback very well. We didn't. We dropped too many passes. We had some throws in there that weren't on the mark. And, I'll tell you one thing about John Navarre. John Navarre has never made an excuse. Now, if you've been around football as long as I have, you know that in the old fields there was always a big crown. And on that field at Oregon, to me, looked like probably an 8-10-inch crown. And that affects the throws to the sideline particularly. And I think I think that affected John. We haven't played on a field with a crown like that. We don't make excuses, but I'm making one for him because I think I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's the truth. Then of course in the kicking game we just made too many mistakes. But the most disappointing thing in that football game for me was the fact that after we got the onside kick, we've got plenty of time and the ability to win the football game. And then on first down there in the last series, we take a sack. On second down, Steve Breston makes a great catch. And some guy comes in from the side and rules it's that play, it's going to make it 3rd and 2. And yeah. And then on 3rd down, John hits Massaquoi for 7-8 yards. On 4th down, Braylon ran a great route. He's going to come open, and he slips on the turf, and we don't get it done. But that, to me, after battling back and having a chance to win, I just felt we were going to win that football game. I think our team did. But obviously we're disappointed from the standpoint of that game. But when you go in that locker room, when you ride that bus to that stadium, and Brian Thompson's crying his eyes out, and a lot of other guys, you know why I like this team. Because they care, they took it hard, and they fought back, and they'll fight back. Questions?
For someone who's never played the game, can you explain how does the crown affect performance? Is it like being on, is it gradual crown?
Well, it's if you were 6 foot tall standing on the sideline, and you went out to the middle of the field, you'd be 6'8" or 6'10". I talked to Gary Bellotti before the game, and he said, you know, they have to do that because of the rain. You know, they get so much rain for drainage, and that's the way it was when I was a kid. You know, all the good fields had big crowns on them. But
is there any way you can ever duplicate that in practice?
Well, the Big Ten continues to struggle against Pac-10 teams the last 10 seasons on the road. Look at that, 2-15-1, 0-9 against ranked teams. Michigan 0-3. Coach, what's the logic behind Michigan going out and taking a game like this?
Well, it definitely hurts their BCS chances. Good parallel is USC goes to Auburn and wins and really helps their strength of schedule. They go out and play at Autzen Stadium and lose, and essentially they're out of the BCS as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Ivan, how much of an impact do you think Autzen had?
Well, I think it had a lot of impact because, you know, the crown, as Lloyd said, although I'm not sure how the crown affected the -3 rushing yards, for instance, but clearly they only had the ball 24-40. And I want to make one point. I completely disagree with Jim about Michigan being out of the BCS. It's only September. You know, they could certainly fight back. They need some help, but it's only September.
Yeah, a lot of times you end up with a one-loss team, and the key is to be the best of the one-loss teams.
Or the first of the one-loss teams. So
right,
you
exactly.
Start climbing back more quickly.
You lose early, and then your poll ranking doesn't get affected as much as you get down the line. You're absolutely right. You're going to lose. This is the time to lose. Now, Michigan, in its first road games, last 4 seasons, here's what they did. Started 3-0 this year, then lost to Oregon. As you can see, 4 straight losses. After starting well at home, they've gone on the road and lost in their first road game under Lloyd Carr. 4 straight seasons now.